I learned the hard way. Nothing's overnight. Some days you lose, some days you survive. Still strong, even moving slow. Every step counts more than you know. I found gold in the everyday, and showing up and staying brave. Still strong.
Keri Mitchell,
Hi.
welcome to the podcast.
Glad to be here, for sure.
Keri, you are I think the fifth on the podcast, and you are by far the farthest.
Awesome.
And I'm
happy to come.
I'm looking forward to diving into some of this stuff.
Good.
Keri, I got a introduction for you here, but it's been my protocol to just give someone my personal take on them. You and I are cousins.
Yep.
You and I are cousins, but I didn't realize we were cousins till about 6 years ago.
Really?
And I'm coming to the awareness that there are no coincidences. It showed up on my Facebook 6 years ago, 2 days ago. I was in Michigan for our uncle's, which was close to his death, and I felt like I needed to be there.
Yeah.
And I have some photos of you and I at a restaurant, and I'm holding Cassie, she was just little then.
Yep.
And I was remembering like that, knowing you're going to be here in a few days, and then that Facebook memory, it brought back memories. So I was up there to visit my Uncle Ron, and my mom says, your cousin Keri wants to hang out with us. I said, you mean Sherry? She's like, no, Keri. Sherry's younger sister. You were a baby when I moved from Michigan and all that. You were just come on the scenes. I just didn't remember you.
Yeah.
But in the past 6 years, every time I've gone to Michigan, I've never not connected with you.
Yeah.
I've been in your house. I feel like I've known you my whole life. And I think rehearsing the process, I think the relationship that we have was that we're family, and you just loved me unconditionally. Like, you didn't need to know anything about me. You're like, oh, that's my cousin.
Yeah.
Come over. Like, you just showed me unconditional love because we are family. And your children, that poured over in your children.
They loved you.
Like, I felt like they knew me forever. Like, they weren't reserved. Like, oh, this is our uncle.
Yep.
And they just, we're cousin, right? Second cousin. That was the relationship that we have is because of whatever that you have in you, just to show unconditional love and no barriers. It's a skill that you have, or something that God has given you, and I'm thankful for it.
Well, thank you.
And like I said, no coincidences. That showed my Facebook feed 2 days ago, 6 years ago. I started a relationship with my cousin that I didn't have before then, and now here you are. And you've called me over the last 6 years about things that you've gone through. I've called you, and we've built this relationship that it's a gift from God, and I'm thankful for it. Thankful for it. Let me give you your proper introduction. And something just happened to my phone. It switched off my notes to a photo when I put it down. So I am going to hit this button right. Keri Mitchell, born and raised in Ortonville, Michigan. You're the youngest of 5 siblings.
Yep.
You've been married for 16 years, and you dated your husband for 6 years. You're a mother of 3 children, ranging from 13 down to 7.
Yes.
2 girls and a boy in the middle. Good kids. You and I have something in common. You are passionate about your fitness. And for you, that started a lot earlier for you than me. It started for you at 12.
Yeah.
It didn't get going for me until I was in my 30s.
Okay.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
You're competitive. You have a competitive nature, and you use that competitiveness even in everyday tasks. Like you were saying, when you're shoveling the snow in your driveway, okay, how fast did I get it done yesterday? I'm going to beat that today.
That's right.
I want to dive into that.
Okay.
And then you're going to be 44 years in March.
Mm-hmm.
So
Crazy.
44 isn't, it's not old, but it's not young either.
Right.
You're just right on the brink there
Yeah.
of, you know, feeling some stuff that
That's
you haven't
right.
felt in a while. But I think you're on a good path with your fitness.
Yeah,
Like I feel like
trying.
that longevity, you're on a good
Trying.
path. So, Keri, everyone that comes on the podcast gets a gift here.
Awesome.
These are Still Strong hats. They're Richardson 112s. My
Okay.
kids tell me that they're the best. So when you're shoveling your
Perfect.
driveway or just doing your woman stuff, getting after
Yeah.
the gym, you can represent us. So I want
Appreciate
to make
it.
sure you get that.
Thank you, Keith. Well, I brought you something as well. On the side, I like to do a little bit of art. So I drew a picture of you and Karen.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. Can you guys see that? You see that, Michael? You can tell that that's me and my wife. Well, for one, you can tell it's me because the arms. You put just the right definition there. You didn't exaggerate. That's it. But the no face, it's amazing how you can do that without doing the face.
Yeah.
Like you can tell
Yeah.
that that's me and my wife with no face. That's
Yeah.
cool. I'll get this thing framed, and
Okay.
people give me gifts. I'm just kind of figuring out where to put them in the space, but that's cool. That's cool. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Keri, I don't do. We go into this no expectations, no format, no nothing.
Okay.
It's a little scary
Mm-hmm.
because we don't know where it's going to go, and it could, what if the conversation just dives off and goes nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to leave room for the Holy Spirit's intervention and where this goes. I want to leave room for just an organic conversation that's real, and that will not only edify one another, but people like listening to this can sense that, oh, that's real and raw. And I want to keep it there.
Yeah.
Part of keeping it raw is not being scripted. It's not being scripted. So we're going to start from the beginning, and then just as we work our way through, we'll find these pockets and we'll just stay there and then just kind of move on. So let's start from the beginning.
Okay.
Born and raised in Ortonville, Michigan. I've been to your house, visiting grandma,
Yep.
and then taking that walk down the road to your house. That was one of my favorite spots as a kid. Can you describe your home life, the house that you lived in? It's unique, the wood stove. Can you just paint a picture for what it was like, where you lived, and maybe how that environment shaped you as you are, and talk about your mom. Just talk about your.
Okay.
I love your family, man. I
Yeah.
love your family. So just
Okay.
get us started there.
Yeah. So we had a little house, 1,000-acre house, one bathroom for everybody. There were 5 of us, but we were spread out in age. So my oldest sister, I was born in 82. She graduated from high school in 83. So when she was dating her husband, I was going on dates with them. They always included me. And I appreciated that because when they got married, I do sleepovers on the weekend, go to church with them on Sunday morning. And I absolutely loved it. She was a second mom. She still fills that role today. With my mom being gone, I do see her as a mom figure. So it's been awesome to have her. She is 18 years older than me. So that's the kind of gap we're talking about. And then my brothers came next, and they, they're guys. They didn't really connect with me, but as we got older, I talked to them more. I look up to them. They're amazing brothers, and they're both pastors. And so I appreciate them and the path that they took. I've recently even told my brother, I know Mom would be super proud of them, that they've been consistent and faithful to the ministry. And it's been awesome to watch that. So I don't take that for granted. And then Sherry is 8 years older than me. So there really are big gaps with all of us. I mean, thinking she was the baby for 8 years and then losing that position, that's a big deal.
Sherry and I,
Yeah.
we were tight when we were little.
Okay.
We were tight when I would come visit because she's just a year or 2 older than me.
Okay.
I remember Sherry. Like I have good memories with Sherry.
Awesome. Well, you guys could do like fishing or like go down to the creek and
You know what one time we
Just-
did? One
what?
time we dressed up like hobos, like homeless people, and we were
I remember
seeing
that
if we
picture.
could seeing if we could hitchhike.
Okay.
We were trying to hitchhike,
Wow.
and we were acting like we were homeless people. Can you imagine if kids tried to do that now?
Right.
Luckily,
Oh, my
nobody picked
word.
us up. Luckily, nobody picked us up. But we were trying
Oh,
to
my word.
hitchhike.
Oh.
So I'm sorry.
Yeah, no. Yeah, so there's just large gaps between each of us kids. And so their stories of growing up are not my stories of growing up. And they talk about other homes that Grandma and Grandpa Armstrong had that I don't know about, never went to. All I know is the one on Laura Lane in
Mhm.
Ortonville.
And that's the only
So-
one I know.
Yeah, and it was fun just to listen to their childhood because it wasn't mine.
Mm.
Mom and dad were in a different place when I came along, a little bit more financially stable. And so I guess some people might say I was more of a grandkid versus a kid for them just because of where they were financially
In
and
life,
fit, with that. But we went to private school. Mom and dad worked super hard so that we could be in the school that was our church. It was a church school. And we all went. My sister Kathy, the school opened. It was her first grade. In first grade she started there, and then we went all the way through at Springfield Christian Academy in Clarkston. So you asked me about my house. So yeah, we had animals. Yeah.
Speaking of the house, when you started off, you said
Yeah.
we grew up in 1,000-acre house.
Oh, I did.
So
1,000
I just want to
square
clarify, 1,000-square-foot house.
It was the house is 1,000 square feet.
Yeah.
Yep.
So describe the house.
Yeah.
Describe the property.
Yeah.
Like paint a picture.
Okay.
You're good at that because
Yeah.
I still have memories of that place, and I loved that place.
Yeah.
But it wasn't. It was primitive.
Yeah.
So describe the house and the place you grew up.
Yeah, it was on 3.7 acres. It was a rectangle, so it went lengthwise. So the house was by the road, and then we had a barn, and then the property. And we always, when I was young, we had some beef cattle and chickens, ducks, rabbits. We did have edible pets. Everything would end up on the table at some point. And Dad would sell eggs at work.
Wow.
And he would collect pop cans, just other little things to do to help with cost. But we had a stream that ran on the property.
Yep.
There was always minnows and things in there, and we'd always go down there. The mosquitoes would run you out sometimes, but it was just fun to go down there and hang out and
I can
fish.
picture the house. I want you to paint a picture of when you go open the screen door to go in the house.
Yep.
Describe to me the kitchen. Describe to me the wood stove. Like just paint that
Yeah.
picture because that's
Tiny. So
But there was love. Listen, it was tiny.
Yeah.
But I think the reason why I love that place is because you could feel the love.
Oh yeah.
Your mom, man.
Simple. She was simple, and she could do so much with so little. She passed away when I was 31, and I have so much to ask her. How in the world did you do so much with that small kitchen? She could feed everyone and have a warm Thanksgiving meal. And
Describe that kitchen.
okay, so she had an apartment size stove.
You would open the screen
Tiny
door.
fridge.
You'd open the screen door
Yeah,
and you're in the kitchen.
correct. Yep.
How many people could stand in that kitchen?
Oh, 6 or 7, maybe, if they were
Maybe.
like
It'd be
tight,
tight.
just
It'd be
keep their
tight,
arms
right?
down. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was tight. And when you first walked in, there was a door to the left that originally took you to the basement, which was they called a Michigan basement. It was unfinished, just like a dirt
floors.
floor.
Yeah.
Eventually, Mom closed that off so that it was a closet. So Dad came in from outside. He could hang his coat and his boots and put them all in there. And it worked really nice to do it that way. We never had a washer and dryer in the house. Every Saturday, we would get all the clothes from the week. We'd go a week and then go to the laundromat, and she would do all the laundry. So I didn't know how to do laundry till I was much older because they were kind of high up, and she'd put the quarters in and do the whole thing. And she never showed me how she was doing it at the laundromat. But so I was one of my jobs, it wasn't my first job, but I had a job at a farm, a dairy farm, where they, it's in Ortonville, and they make their own ice cream, bottled milk, and all that.
Cooks
Farm Dairy. Yeah.
We like going there when we visit.
Okay.
Get ice cream and stuff.
Yeah. That's where Tom and my husband and I met.
Okay.
Working there. And, so anyways, when I hired in, they said, now you're going to have to do the farm boys laundry. They're going to come in from milking, and they're going to take all that nasty, stinky stuff off and put it in the washer. And I said, I don't know how to do laundry. I've never done laundry. He's like, what? How could you go this long? Like, oh, just never did. Never was in the house. But so I learned there how to do laundry.
The other thing about your house,
Yeah,
that's different than other houses, and again, it was like a staple of that house was that wood burning stove.
mm-hmm.
Talk about that. Talk about your mom. Like, talk about that whole thing.
Yeah.
Like, that kept the house warm.
Yep.
And that was work, right?
Yeah. So Dad knows his wood types, like hardwoods. He's good with that, seasoned wood. So he would find someone who had a tree taken down, or he would take it down. We would do do the work of getting the tree, and then load it up, bring it home. And I don't remember what anniversary, but Dad got Mom a log splitter for their anniversary.
That's cool.
So he would put the pile out there, get it ready for her, and then she'd just split wood all day.
That's cool.
And do face cord after face cord. I would say they had at least 100 face cord lined up at one point.
I can see it. I had forgotten about that, but I can see it now. There was that wood all stacked up along that fence line. And I didn't know that your mom was doing all that.
Yeah. That was her part.
I wish I had pictures of that, because that's, oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
That was a lot of wood. And to know that your mom did that.
Yeah.
Like, I have like so much respect for her right now.
Yeah.
That's great. That was a ton of wood.
Mm-hmm.
It had to have been, because.
Yeah, we were using it and we were selling it. So we always had to have at least 60 face cord on hand at any given time, because it was income as well. So then we'd split it and stack it, and then reload it, deliver it, stack it at someone else's house. So it was, but those were good memories of going out with Dad and doing those jobs of getting the wood and bringing it home. And I know one time Mom had, when she was splitting, the one piece came back at her and broke her rib. Yeah. When she was doing wood. And she probably didn't stop. She probably kept going, knowing her. Going. Yeah.
So we heat our houses with central air and central heat.
Yeah.
That wood burning stove wasn't just an ornament. It wasn't just for fun. Like, that thing was for a purpose.
That's right.
So describe to me the winters. If that wood burning stove wasn't going, how cold would that house get? Because you and I have told stories about when you guys would come home from school, when your mom, during that transition, when your mom was working, and like,
there was
her being up at night, keeping it going.
That's right. Yeah. There for a while, she started working at the private school, to help with tuition. But the problem was we would all be getting home at the same time. So there was no dinner. The house was freezing.
And when you say freezing, that's not an acronym.
Yeah, it was cold. Very
acronym,
cold.
Is that the right word? No, acronym. I probably used the wrong word, but that's not hyperbole.
Yeah,
it was cold.
It was cold.
Acronym is something else. Hyperbole is.
Yeah. So because the stove was in the middle of the house, the outsides, like my room was down the other end, so it was very cold. And there was a time when Mom and Dad's sheets froze to the wall because it wasn't insulated very well. And I can remember peeling and seeing frost on the inside of the wall, up on the, where their comforter was
Right.
stuck. And even our shampoo would get frozen on the bottom. And we had a fireplace in the other end with an insert so you could get that thing going, and then there was a blower on it.
Mm-hmm.
But we didn't use it that much. It was kind of overkill. When we did, it was almost too much.
Got it.
It's hard to find balance with a wood stove.
Got it.
So, like with that on, and then let's say all the siblings came over for pizza night, it could get pretty toasty in there, and we'd be opening windows because it would go the other extreme. Wood heat's different. It's just a different heat than a furnace. But yeah, so Mom kept that thing going, through the night.
I remember hearing stories of her like sleeping in a chair next to it to keep it going on particular nights when it was cold.
Yeah, she sometimes she'd sit like propped up on the floor, so her bedroom was pretty close to where it was, so she would just sit there, and she had her Bible there too, and she would read her Bible.
Wow.
And she would do like the Bible in a year, and it was sat there where she was. It was kind of a cool thing.
I just remember I told you that there's no format, just as we've been kind of talking about your mom, but more or less your home life.
Yeah.
But when you brought up the Bible, like continue to paint a picture of your mother. You talked about her Bible. I know that she was the nursery work in the church for like 40 years. Just continue to paint that picture of your mother. Let's honor her.
Yeah.
Let's just take some time to remember.
Yeah.
Let's just take a little bit and remember her.
Yeah.
One memory that I have of her. The last memory I have of her. Karen and I got married. Karen's family's going through a divorce. Karen and I are basically doing the wedding on our own. We got her wedding dress from a yard sale. Invitations are expensive. I want to invite all my family from Michigan, but I want to be practical about it. So I didn't send invitations to everybody. I sent one to Grandma Armstrong. And my thought was, everybody comes to Grandma's house anyway, so as they come to Grandma's house, Grandma, can you just tell everybody that we're having a wedding? I mean, because I don't know how much invitations were, but I just remember thinking, like, practically, if that was like a practical thing. I didn't know then, but I come to find out that some people's feelings got hurt that they didn't get an invitation. Yeah. Which is okay. They didn't know my situation. They just, it's okay. But Karen and I went at some point after we were married, soon after we were married. Well, she was pregnant with Terry. She was probably, I think she was 7 or 8 months pregnant with Terry because I wanted her to experience what it was to toboggan.
Okay.
And I put Grandpa Armstrong's snowsuit on her. And you know that hill behind his house?
Yeah.
I pushed her down the hill. And she got down there and rolled over and was flopping around in the snow and couldn't get up with her big old 7-month pregnant. So I had to go down there and help her up. So it was wintertime. We went to visit your mom. And your mom, man, she's a generous woman.
I'd call it a quiet giver, definitely.
What's funny is sometimes generosity comes from people who you're looking around and thinking, you need to keep this. Sometimes the people who have the least amount give the most.
That's right.
I can't remember how much money your mom put in my hand,
Mm.
but she just kind of like gave me a hug. She just kind of like curled in her way. She kind of curled up, like stuck this thing in my hand,
Yeah.
just kind of like tucked it away.
Mm.
But I remember getting in the car and thinking, like I felt like that cost her something.
Mm.
She's like, sorry couldn't come to the wedding, but I wanted to give you something.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the last memories I have of your mom.
Mm.
But I think that capsulizes
Mm-hmm.
the kind of person she was.
Yeah.
Quiet, caring, and giving. And I knew
Mm-hmm.
I knew that woman with love.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. So she worked in the church nursery for years and years. And recently, a young lady was telling her story of getting pregnant before she was married. I don't know if if she stayed with the guy or not, but her parents wanted her in church and she was embarrassed because she'd now had this little baby, and she wasn't married, and she was thinking of the judgment from the church and what that would look like.
And this was probably during a time frame when that would be expected, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was probably the late 70s, I guess. And she walked in and she said, Pastor Paul Vanneman said, give me that baby. I want to hold that baby. And she said, after he saw me and, talked to me a little bit, walked up to the nursery and your mom was there and your mom said, give me that baby. And she said, it wasn't at all what I had in my head, how I was going to be treated, but everyone wrapped their arms around her and that baby and loved on them. And she sent me a message letting me know how my mom made her feel welcome and that her baby was safe in that nursery with my mom. And that was pretty amazing to hear that from her. So that was encouraging. Those are the things you wish you could go back and talk to mom about now that you hear them and that kind of thing. So yeah, and she was very generous with her money. I think she just was she knew where we could cut corners and where it was important.
Yeah.
Our education was important. So she invested in that. And I'm so grateful for that I never had to go to public school. I loved my school and I loved being in that environment. My best friends came out of that school that I'm still close with. And so that was wonderful. My dad was an auctioneer on the side. So he went to auction school, and besides working for GM, he would do sales at the school, like sell pies and cakes and things like that and raise money. And that was another thing that he was able to do to kind of help at the school or help raise money for the school, was doing the auctioning. So even after his stroke, he was able to auction for a little while. He obviously wasn't as good, but the fact that he was able to get out there and still do it was pretty amazing and stuff.
I remember hearing a story. Your husband is a accountant type,
Correct.
right?
CPA. Yep.
And I think he was helping your mom do her taxes.
Yep.
Do you know where I'm going with this?
Yeah. Yeah.
Tell the story.
Well, he said, Barb, you give so much that you're probably going to red flag the IRS because it doesn't make sense. What you're doing does not make sense to us. So pretty amazing.
She was literally giving away more money than they're bringing in.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
Can you believe that?
No, it's crazy. Crazy. Yep. But
her investment in you kids, man.
Yep.
I think it paid off.
Yeah. She was such a quiet person, but her funeral, the church, Dixie,
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't even tell you a guess of how many people fit in that church. It was packed. People were standing in the back for her funeral. Amazing. Other than Pastor Paul Vanneman's funeral, I have never seen people come out like that. And we actually didn't give people much time. There were people after the fact that said, hey, we didn't even know. We would have been there. So she really touched a lot of lives.
That's That's another good transition. Let's make that transition.
Mm-hmm.
You are 7 years plus or minus younger than me. But you've experienced some things that I haven't. I still have both my parents.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But you lost your mom, this wonderful woman we've been talking about. Let's make that transition. Go back and describe to me the loss of your mom, like your own personal feelings that you felt, how the family felt, how maybe the family dynamic changed with mom gone, because I felt like she was the hub of that place.
Correct.
Now that she's gone. So just take your time and let's just start peeling that onion back a little bit. Like when she died, how did things shift? Like the emotions. So just try to relive that and let's just talk through that.
Sure. So going back a little further than that, I had my first child in 2012, Hadley, and I was working full time. My husband was in school full time trying to get his master's degree. And so I really wanted to continue to work to help support our family. And so in my mind, mom was going to be a person who said, "You're having these kids, they're your responsibility. You need to figure this out." So I never reached out to her to help babysit so that I could go back to work. And so I had set it up with my sister Sherry to help me with childcare. And that was kind of the route we were going. And then I believe it was at my baby shower. I was standing outside of the gymnasium there at Dixie, and I believe it was my Aunt Hilda and my mom, and the three of us were standing there together. And my aunt said, "What's your plan? After the baby's born, are you going to go back to work and all that?" And I said, "Yes, I do plan to go back to work." And it kind of came up like, is your mom or who's going to watch the baby? And mom says, or I think she said, "Did you ask me? Like, did you ask your mom?" And mom's like, "She didn't ask me, but I would love to. I would love to watch this new baby." And I said, "I didn't think you would. I had no idea." And she said, "I'd be honored to watch your baby." And so at that point, I switched over and started dropping her off, after she was born, and I went back to work. I started dropping her off at mom and dad's. I was working at Health Quest Physical Therapy. It was in Oxford, which isn't too far from my parents' house. And I would drop her off at probably about 4:30 in the morning, and I would lay her on their bed, and dad would go have gotten McDonald's, and we would sit at the table and we'd visit and we'd hang out, and at 5 o'clock I'd leave, and I'd open up by 5:30. I needed to open the gym up there. And so we had some time there that we were able to visit and just have quiet time with me and my parents, and it was really good, and I'm thankful for that time. So I had Hadley in 2013, and then my son came the very next year in August. So she's February, and then he was August of 2013. And they're 18 months apart. My mom and my Aunt Naomi are 18 months apart. So I kind of think about that. Mom had that same with her sister. So August 1st of 2013 was my last day of work. My husband had said, "You don't have to work anymore." Now he was graduating in August. So he said, "I'm all set," So in my mind, I'm thinking, I'm going to have this baby. Mom and I can hang out.
Right.
And we'll visit, and the babies will be,
Got
playing.
you. Got it.
And so that was how I had it played out in my brain.
That's how you envisioned it.
Yep, it was going to be like that, because that was the first time I didn't have to work.
Got it.
And so I was looking forward to that. But mom was slowing down that summer. And like we talked about the wood piles weren't stacking up like they should have been. And she wasn't preparing for winter like she normally would.
So just give me a reference. How old is she at this point in time, more or less?
She would be 67 or 68.
At this time, she's in her mid
67
late 60s.
when she probably
Got it.
She was born in 44, so
Okay.
so she definitely was slowing down, but like honestly, I wasn't paying attention or noticing it like I should have been, I guess. So we had the family over to our home. Yeah.
I wanna interject
Yeah.
something, and I'm trying not to interject too much because I
Okay.
don't want you to lose your train of thought.
Yeah.
Um, but you and I had a conversation earlier today about, hey, looking back, I should have noticed and didn't.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Sometimes familiarity breeds blindness.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You're used
Yep.
to seeing her. You're used to seeing the wood pile, like this status quo, and like looking back, hey, the wood pile,
Yeah.
there was something wrong there. I am in a point in my life that I'm trying to actively look at each day as if it's a new day, not a repeat of yesterday,
Mm-hmm.
because I feel like a lot of that stuff happens.
Yeah.
There's changes, incremental changes in life that happen so slowly, and it's
Mm-hmm.
just our life that you don't see it. And then you look back like, oh, I wish I would have,
Right.
but it was there all along.
Right.
So as we get older, just trying to be more conscious. I'm
Mm-hmm.
trying to be more intentional, more conscious about those kind of things.
Yeah.
Kind of picking up on the details
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and trying to navigate through those and whatever my responsibility is in that regard.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Did I
Yeah.
just communicate that okay?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Our lives are
Yep.
busy. We have
That's
things to
right.
do, and we're always looking at the next thing.
Yep.
But life is changing.
Mm-hmm.
Things are changing, and to have a pulse on the reality of where I am today,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and not just say, well, it's just like yesterday. Well, you know, every day we're getting a little older.
Yeah.
Every day we're a little close to death.
Yeah. Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
So go
Yeah.
like what you saying with the wood pile.
Yeah.
It resonated with me because
Sure.
that's on the tip of my plate right
Yeah.
now, being aware.
Mm-hmm.
So go ahead.
Yeah. And there was a day where we had to run over to pick something up. And I walked in, the door was unlocked, and I'm like, Mom, Mom. And she was fully under the covers. And it was like the middle of the afternoon. Now, I know people take naps and things, but that wasn't, I was taken off, like I was caught off guard by that for her. I was not expecting to see her sleeping. So, looking back, these are the little things that I didn't think much of. And then, so August 1st, I no longer worked. I was home with the babies. I had Carson on the 28th of August of 13, and Mom was there for that. She came to the hospital and held him. And then in September, on the 27th, that's my dad's birthday, the 27th, our dog got killed out front of the house. The FedEx truck ran into him and killed him. And so I called my parents and I said, hey, can you guys come get him? I want to bury him at the house. We have all our animals in the backyard. And so Mom made him a nice little stone and put him in the back. And it wasn't soon after that we had an event at our house where we just had the family over. And so in comes Dad, no Mom. And I was like, where's Mom? He's like, she's just not feeling good. So she stayed home. And I'm like, it doesn't seem right. So I called her right away. And I'm like, where are you, Mom? Why aren't you here? She's like, I'm just not feeling good and kind of tired. And come to find out, she'd been struggling to get to the mailbox, which it's a little distance, but she shouldn't have been tired going to the mailbox.
Let me interject something else. Because what you're describing, I've seen happen. People, especially people like your mom, people are used to helping others.
Yeah.
Sometimes those are the ones that don't ask for help.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want to be a burden on someone else.
That's right.
So your mom, man, she should have just said, hey, somebody help me.
Right. Right.
But just because they aren't verbally,
Yeah.
there's those signs where we need to be, even though, and here's the other thing. As a child, how do you take the role over your mom? It's like, Mom,
Mm-hmm.
like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
As you're talking, I'm just trying
Mhm.
I'm trying to navigate my way through. I'm trying to
Right.
put my feet in your shoes,
Mm-hmm.
because like I said, I mean, I could die today,
Mm-hmm.
but if life goes the way it typically goes, like with my parents, they're late 60s right now.
Okay.
You follow me? So as
Yeah.
you're describing things, and my mom is not
Mhm.
one to ask for help. Like that woman's
Yeah.
carrying 50-pound bags of chicken feed when she just had hip surgery, when she could just call me up and say, "Hey, Keith,
Yeah.
come carry this for me." But she's
Mhm.
got to, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I'm paying real close
Yeah.
attention
Yeah.
to your reality,
Mm-hmm.
because
Mm-hmm.
it's on my doorstep, and I want
Yeah.
to make sure I get this right.
Yeah.
My parents live right over there,
Yep.
and I need to have
Mm-hmm.
a tap on where they
Yeah.
are, because they're not going
That's
to
right.
call me up and say, "Hey, Keith, I can't do this."
Right.
They're going to
Right.
Let me tell you one story,
Yep.
and I want you to pick up with yours.
Okay.
My sister was getting ready for a wedding, and she wanted some on my parents' property. She wanted some wedding lights hung up in this oak tree.
Okay.
My sister sends me a freaking picture of a tractor with the bucket raised all the way up, with a ladder in the bucket,
Oh boy.
like bungee tied to the bucket with ratchet straps, with the ladder going all the way up to this tree. And the goal was for my mom to sit in the tractor and my dad to climb up the ladder, and for him to raise him up. And I'm talking, it's 40, 50 feet up there.
Oh my word.
And my sister, "Hey, this doesn't look safe, boys. Can you come help?" Like, I can rent a lift. I got a few bucks. I got
Yeah.
connections. Like, I can rent a lift. Call your boy up that's in construction that has connections. Why are you risking life
Sure.
for some lights?
Yeah. Right.
But that's human nature.
That's right.
So I'm just, as you're
Yeah,
talking,
yeah.
I'm really
Sure.
resonating with
Yeah.
this, because I need to get this one right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
So nope. So we had the party, and now my wheels are spinning. Like, what's going on? Something's not quite right.
You
So
feel it.
Yeah.
You can feel it in your.
So I called her up and I said, "Call the doctor and make an appointment,
Yeah.
and I'll go. Whatever." Okay. All right. I'll make an appointment. And I don't know the time between, but she didn't do it.
She didn't. She said she was going to and didn't.
So I called.
That sounds like an Armstrong to me.
That's right. So I called the doctor and I said, "Can I make an appointment for someone else, for another adult? Is that a thing?" "Sure, you can do that."
Good for
I
you.
said, "Okay." So I said, here's the person, this is what we need. So I called Mom, acted kind of dumb, and I said, "Hey, did you make that appointment?" "Nope." I said, "Okay, good, because I did, and we're going to go today," and gave her the time. She said, "You little stinker." That's what she said to me.
That sounds like her.
You know, I'm like, well, we got to find out what's going on.
Yeah.
So Mom and Dad came over. We loaded the kids up. Mom and I went into the office. Dad sat in the car running with the kids in the back seat. And they did not have a doctor. They had a PA for her.
Right.
And we're sitting in the waiting room filling out this paperwork. It says, "When was your last OB appointment?" She looks at me and she says, "How old are you?"
Wow.
Meaning, I haven't been since I had you.
Wow.
And I'm like, 30 years, Mom? It's been 30 years since you've seen a doctor.
Oh.
So,
Wow.
I know. So then we go back, we get this PA. She is amazing, thorough, detailed. She's listening with the stethoscope and she hears something she doesn't like.
Yeah.
So she had ordered for them to check her lungs. And we get back in the car after the appointment and Mom says, "That was a waste of time. I think we just wasted our time. I don't think they found anything."
She
And
probably
she was
wasted time. She
pushing
probably
it
said, "We're
off.
wasting money. I could have
Pushing
given
it
this.
up.
I could have given this money away to somebody else."
That's right, right. So we went home and then it came back that there were some nodules, some spots on her lungs.
Okay.
And that was the initial thing that we found out, that there was something going on. Um, her stomach was bothering her at this point, and it had only been a few days since the visit.
Oh.
And the PA wanted her to follow up with an actual doctor. So we got set up with a doctor that we were going to be seeing. I don't know the time frame, but let's say another week or something. We scheduled it. She was not doing well. Like, she was declining quite rapidly.
Mm.
So Dad took her there for the appointment. And so she was waiting in the waiting room or something, but she was there. I called that doctor, and I called and I said, I need to talk to, and I said the doctor's name. He stopped what he was doing. He came and got on the phone with me and asked me, and I said, my mom is there and she is not good. You need to go check her right now. And he said, give me a minute. He went and checked her. He got back on the phone with me, and he said, she's very dehydrated. There's something going on, and I'm sending her by ambulance to the hospital right now. And we found, So
they found what?
Well, what was going on was she had a tumor with feelers. They're just like roots.
Oh.
And they were just grabbing her organs and just twisting them all up.
So, again, looking back at
Yeah.
the timeline that you're saying,
Yeah.
your mom saying, I'd love to watch that baby.
Yeah. Yeah. Honored too. Yeah.
And you'd be able to spend some time with her.
Yeah.
The timing of your husband finished up school so you don't have to work.
That's right.
And you being in a place where you can be cognitive or cognizant of your mom where she's at. Like, you can see God's hand and God using people to do his work. So you could be there for your mom and be aware.
Yeah.
You imagine, not that you wouldn't have been aware, but the process probably would have been a slower process if you were working.
Right.
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 As far as like your mom being on your mind, but now that you're not working, you're noticing things that, so that's, in time you see how God is gracious. Right.
I never really thought of it like that. Like, I never really looked at that timeline that way, which is crazy, but yeah.
And it's hard to see that timeline in real time because all the mechanisms of human beings gearing with other human beings. But when enough time goes by, you can kind of see God's timing over all of it. And we get these glimpses of, man, God, you were there. We couldn't see it, but you were there the whole time. And that's one thing I appreciate about what we're doing right now is this podcast, this platform, is either there's a God or there's not.
Yep.
Hard to deny that there's
That's
not a
right.
God when there's things like this we're talking about. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Absolutely. Yeah.
So she had these tumors with these roots. They're just twisting her organs.
Yeah.
She's saying, that was a waste of money. I'm
Yeah,
good,
she
but
didn't
you're being tenacious and you're taking care of your mom.
Yeah.
She's not making the appointments. You are. Thank God for that God gave you the intuition to do so. That God put you a place in your life that you could care for your mom or be aware of her.
Yeah.
So keep going.
So my sister Kathy lives pretty close to the hospital. So she was there and spent time because, again, I've got the two little ones at the time, and she was in a place where she could go there and sleep and stay right with mom. And so she would fill me in on what was going on. In cases like this, where it's probably cancer, they don't like to open you up. For some reason, the air they always talk about not letting the air get to the cancer. It like feeds it.
It could spread.
Correct. But there was nothing else they could do. It was just, she couldn't live without the surgery. So she just had to go through with it. So they did the surgery, and her recovery was pretty rough. It was really hard to keep her heart rate down, her blood pressure. There was just a lot of things that were all over the board. And so I don't know the time frame of how long she spent in the hospital, but she did get to come home, but she really struggled to breathe. And my dad's hearing is not real great. So she said Sherry then was able to step in and stay at the house. So it's so cool how God I was able to initiate some things. Kathy was able to stay at the hospital. Sherry was able to stay at the house.
So the family,
So awesome.
the family pulled together
That's
to
right.
take care of
Awesome.
mom.
Yeah.
The family pulled together to take
was
care of mom.
pretty amazing.
That's good.
That's right. And so the breathing just was terrible. And I know they had a visiting nurse, and I feel like we just got her home and they're like, something's up. We got to go. We got to take her back. She's got to go back. And one thing she said was, I just want to go to church.
Wow.
I just want to go back to church, and I want things to be normal again. And so I was part of the taking her to urgent care, because they said just run up to urgent care with her. And we were sitting there, and I remember a lady walking in. You could tell she was a heavy smoker her whole life, couldn't breathe, just struggling. And mom's just like kind of comparing herself, like, I've never smoked, I've never drank, I've taken care of myself, and I'm going through all this. And then you have somebody like that, and she just was like having a moment for a minute.
She's trying to make sense of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
why she's trying to make sense of it. And that seems to be a natural process.
Mm-hmm.
Why is this happening?
Right. When you feel like you're doing everything right, and then you get hit with a hard time.
Yeah.
And, I tried to be encouraging, but it was hard, because I was thinking the same thing in my head. And so then we had to take her to the hospital. Her lungs kept filling up with fluid. So they said, it's a very painful process, but we turn you on your side, and we have to actually put this big needle in and pull out the fluid to just try to give you some relief from this.
And they did that.
Yep, they did that. And Sherry was there for that process. So she got to be with mom, and probably one of the last ones to talk with her, when she was, but we went up to the hospital to see mom the day before.
You said Sherry was with her when they did that.
Making the decision, like she was in the room, with her.
When they pulled the fluid, Sherry was there?
I mean, she was there when the doctors are saying, here's what we need to do next.
Understood.
So she just knew that was coming, and that was like the next step. But again, you can see how God allowed our schedules to always work out. Like, someone was there. It was hard on Dad. I don't know how much he could even, it was overwhelming for him. So it was good for one of us to be there for him, and just to listen, another set of ears to try to comprehend this information that was hard to take in. And so I was up there the night before with the kids, and like I say, Mom spent a lot of time with Hadley, teaching her and working with her. And she said, Mom sat with Hadley on the bed, and she's like, what does the pig say? Mom said, what's the pig say? And she oink, oink, and what's the cow say? Moo. And she went through the animals with her, and she told her she loved her. And then that next day, after that, it just really didn't help her, and she ended up going on the vent. And we found out, so they get a PET scan. It just kind of shows you where the cancer is in the body.
Yeah.
And she was on that vent. We got the news back. It was absolutely everywhere from head to toe, everywhere in her body. And so, it was just kind of quick. I mean, we're talking October, and we lost her November 15th.
Wow.
So we had maybe 6 weeks, of all of it.
That's a short timeline, because the way you're talking, I'm thinking this is months, but that's a short timeline.
Yeah.
You're giving a lot of information in 6
Yeah.
weeks. That's heavy.
Very much, yeah. And so obviously it was going on a long time.
Right.
They said it probably was originally a blood cancer, like a lymphoma, or there's Hodgkin's. There's non-Hodgkin's and Hodgkin's lymphomas. It was probably one of those. Had they found out early, it could have been curable. It could have been treated, but that wasn't our story. That's not how it went for us. So, like I say, how she never really wanted to go down the road of doctors. Kind of like, if I don't know, I don't know. And
I'm not judging her.
yeah.
I want to take a break. But when we come back from the break, I want to talk about after she passed, what was that dynamic like for the family?
Okay.
I also want to, at some point, talk about, because I recently did this, you get a certain age and you feel like things, like you talk to your mom's health, you feel like you get a certain age, you feel like things can potentially go downhill rapidly. So I proactively got myself all checked out. I just want to know where I'm at 100%. If I got something I want to know now so I can at least know where I'm at for the people that I love.
Yeah.
You follow me?
Yeah.
Everybody's different, but hearing your mom's story, man, I wish that she would have not waited 30 years to go to the doctor. You know what I mean?
That's right.
God's plan is God's plan, but we can learn from other people's stories.
Right.
And just watching my parents in their late 60s, you know, I see them slowing, and we're all going towards the grave.
Right.
And just watching them navigate it, and seeing how they maybe could do better, or, you know, just kind of watching and then trying to make my path with what I'm supposed to be with the information that I have.
Yeah.
And so I'm glad you're sharing that with me. I think this is people need to hear this kind of thing, because life, you get old quick.
Yeah. Yep.
You get old quick. We talked about those incremental changes, you know, the wood incrementally. And before you know it, there's no wood pile left.
That's right.
And then now it's too late. So
Right.
let's do that. Let's talk about that transition after the death with the family, and we can just move on to the next. This part of the podcast is brought to you by Boots and Bubbles. This is a special one for me, man. This is my two girls, 15 and 17. Boots and Bubbles specialize in Southern-style dirty sodas, an alternative to your regular old boring soda. If you're in the Lee County area and you want to book them for an event, find the link in the bio. In the meantime, let's get back to the show. All right, girl, we're back from the break. Thank you for taking that time to reminisce about your mom. Yeah. I think even though we were talking about your mom, I think a lot of people I think that resonates. I think a lot of moms are that way. So even though we're talking about your mama, I think it crosses over to other mamas, make them think about their mama.
Yeah.
So she passed apart from Dr. Paul's funeral.
Yeah. Great turnout.
The biggest one ever.
Great turnout. It was.
Her investment, all them babies' lives, that nursery.
Yeah.
Like, man, what an honor it was to her.
Absolutely.
Again, thankful to be able to, you and I connecting God's hand and all of that.
Yeah.
Orchestrating, moving parts around so that your mom is taken care of. And so she passed. That grieving process, and I'm sure you still grieve today. I don't think it ever,
Seasons really hit you, because when we made the decision that we were going to say goodbye, we were up there. I don't know what floor we were on, but it was 6th floor or higher of the hospital. And I looked out and there wasn't a leaf on the tree. You know, this is Michigan. So, like I say, this whole process started early October. The leaves were just starting to change in October. So going to doctors or going to the hospital to go see her, we would see that transition of the leaves. That last day when we said goodbye on November 15th, there was not a leaf left on that tree, on any trees outside. And I remember looking out and seeing it like that, and just the process of life and growth and death and new life in the spring. And it just really hit me, like that whole process. And so that is one thing that every fall, when I see the leaves changing, I think about when she first got sick. And then I'll say, okay, I'll be done raking by November 15th,
Wow.
because by November 15th, they should be all the leaves should be down by then. And so it's hard not to go back to that season of her life and
That's
think of that.
even, when God designed nature,
Yeah.
that there are seasons of life
Mm-hmm.
and that you can draw that connection, and that when those seasons come around, that you're in a state of remembrance to remember your mom and to
Mhm.
honor your mom.
Mhm.
That's good, because people can be forgotten. We just move on to the next thing. So God
Yeah.
has a way of these cycles of life
Mhm.
bringing things back around.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So that's a powerful
Yeah.
thought to have.
Yeah.
So
Recently, my son was sitting on my floor, propped up to the mattress on the floor in my room. And he was sitting there with his legs out, crossed ankle. And the way he had his arm on his other side, my mom sat like that when she would sit by the fire. Same pose. And it was emotional to see. And I took a picture of him. I said, "Don't move. I have to take a picture of you
Wow.
like this." And just little things like that bring back memories of, I didn't think about how she sat and
Wow.
forever. And then he just naturally sat like that. And I said, "That's how your grandma Dockery used to sit, just
Wow.
like that." And he, was happy to
That's cool.
have done something that reminded me of my mom. So that was really cool.
How did I want to get back to when your mom passed.
Yeah.
Did the grieving process, how did the family shift at all? Did they pull together? Did they pull apart? Like, just walk me through that,
Yeah.
because again, you can learn from other people's stories.
Mhm.
You can learn from other people's experiences.
Sure.
And walk me
Yeah.
through that process.
Well, we now had a dad who had been with his wife for almost 50 years. They were just shy of 50.
Wow.
We were going to have a party at the church for their 50th that
Wow.
following August. That never happened. So, Dad,
So your dad is a lost puppy.
he's bad lost.
I can feel that right now, man.
Bad lost, because
Wow.
he went from being at home living with his parents to going right into marriage. They got married right out of high school. So he didn't know how to do laundry. He didn't know how to cook. He didn't know how to do anything domestic at all.
Let me interject something here, because like I tell you, I have all these thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
So I do these little studies. I don't even know if you can call it a study, but
Okay.
these little researches, because I do wonder which one of us is going to go first, my wife or I.
Yeah.
She was 14, I was 16 when we met. So what you're describing,
Yeah.
whew. I want her to go before me, because I don't want her to have the pain.
Mm-hmm.
But according to the studies, a man clings to his wife. That's even biblical.
Yeah, that's right.
A man clings to his wife. How come it doesn't say a wife clings to her husband, but it says a man clings to his wife?
Mm-hmm.
Men cling to their wife, and they find it hard to make other connections. Like, that's my person.
Yeah, right.
A woman, and you know my wife.
Absolutely.
A woman can make a friend anywhere, anytime.
Mm-hmm.
So statistically speaking, it's better for me to go first, because my wife will be just fine without me. She can make these connections. A man wanders around like a freaking lost puppy.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's hard.
Yeah. It's hard to watch because they don't.
And I don't want my wife having any other friends. I want to be her friend. Like, even when I'm dead, I was like, I don't want you making no friends. Like, so even that, just thinking about my wife having another friend, man, I want to find out who his friends are. I'm gonna harass them. You know what I mean? So anyway, go ahead.
So,
I can identify with your dad, your lost
Yeah.
puppy, because I can feel it already. I'm not even there
Yeah.
yet.
And we would have him over Sunday afternoons or whatever, let him hang out with us. And part of him felt like he was intruding on our space, which he
Oh,
didn't need to feel that way, but he didn't know when to leave. He struggled with that. And um, Dad was in the hospital just a few years ago, and he had had another little episode. And Pastor Vanneman, Todd Vanneman, came to the hospital. I was there at the time visiting Dad, and Pastor Vanneman said, You remember what we talked about that one time when you were leaving church after Sunday morning?" And Dad kind of nodded his head, and he said, "Corky," I said, "Well, have a good day. And what are you doing?" He's like, "Going home or whatever." And Dad said, "This is the hardest part." And he said, "What do you mean?" He said, "Going home to an
mm,
empty house without Barb there." And when Pastor lost Vanessa, he said, "I totally get it.
wow.
Walking in, empty house, nobody there to greet you, nobody there."
Mm.
And um, Dad had a really, really hard time with that because Mom made that house a home.
Yeah, she did.
And it just wasn't the same without her there for him. And so that was hard. That was hard for him.
So when your dad felt he lost his place and
Hmm.
he's wanting to be around you guys, but feel like he's intruding,
Yeah.
how come, and I'm guilty of this, how come family can't just communicate and be honest with the way it is?
Yeah.
How come your dad can't just say, hey, this is new for me.
Hmm.
I feel like I'm intruding on you guys, but I love being around you guys. Like,
Hmm.
can we just figure this out together?
Yeah.
How come we just can't be like that with family?
Yeah. I don't
I
know.
don't, it's,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? It would make it so much easier just
Yeah.
to be, here's how I'm feeling.
Hmm.
If you guys are tired of me, can you just tell me?
Right.
And you'd be like, I mean, let's just, I think because we're so concerned about the other person,
Hmm.
and then we make our own interjections or these our own ideas of how what they rationalize how they probably think of it, and we listen to that own voice in our head instead of just
Hmm.
listen to the voice.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
just
It's
ask me,
kind
Dad.
of,
Just ask me. I'll
yeah.
tell you.
It
I'll tell
takes
you,
you right
Dad.
back to when I didn't want Mom to watch my child
The
because
same
I
thing.
felt like she wanted me to be the parent and
Right.
raise the kid. And so I didn't, yet she was willing and wanted to do that for
Yeah.
me. And so it's just, so it was everybody trying to learn anew in our lives without Mom, what that looked like, and how to help Dad and not overstep, not to make him think he can't handle it. So giving him some independence and space, but
Right.
yet always being there for him when he needed
Did you
us.
guys have any family meetings about?
Not that I can remember. I know he wanted to get out there, and I don't know if you want to call it dating, but we really didn't think that would be him, but he did want to find people kind of in the same position as him.
Right.
Like, okay, I lost my husband and you lost your wife, and now we have something in common, and maybe we can hang out versus me over here with my own kids who already have a family. And so he did kind of go that route a little bit.
So your dad is, and I get it. Your dad kind of like lost his identity.
Hmm.
He's trying to
Yeah.
figure that out. So
That's
I
right.
understand that. As a man that's been married a long time, I can understand that.
Hmm.
What about your siblings? Did did one particular sibling take it harder than another? Like how did you guys
Mm,
deal with that individually or collectively?
I don't remember really a lot of everyone else. I had a 1-year-old, and Carson was about 8 to 10 weeks old at the time. Um, I was dealing with emotions from having babies and not sleeping good.
Yeah.
I would just cry a lot, and Hadley would say, "Mommy, why are you sad? Are you missing Grandma?" And it would
Mm.
be that. Um, I would just feel overwhelmed with life and responsibility, and I really struggled. I really struggled with that because, like I had said before, I had this beautiful picture of I get up and maybe make something to eat, and then, hey, mom, you want to come over?
Right.
And that kind of thing.
You just spoke to something that I want to talk about. My wife's dad died. He would have been, his birthday was like a week after mine. I forget how old he would have been. But when he died, my wife didn't get to fully grieve him because on the heels of his death, I had an employee on a commercial job site that wasn't tied off and fell. And I had just happened to be on the job site when it happened. And to see a young kid, I knew he was in his 20s. He had like two little babies. And to see him laying there bleeding out his ears, he had urinated, he had defecated, he was making these death groans that I'll never forget. And I took my shirt off and wrapped it around his head and just held him. And he just looking at me. They meta-flighted him, and he was on life support for a while. But that took a lot of my time. And my wife was trying to be there for me during all that, but she had just lost her dad. So listening to you talk about, hey, where I was in life, I had these babies. To not be able to just hit the pause button on life.
Right.
Life is hard sometimes.
Yeah.
Life almost seems unfair. Sometimes you just want to hit the freaking pause button on life and just give me a minute. Give me a minute to grieve my mom for a little bit. Like life, can you just stop? Like the bills don't stop. Life doesn't stop. Life keeps going. And sometimes it feels like it's not fair.
Right.
But we had Marcus, my boxing coach, on the podcast last week.
Yeah.
When things aren't fair, you got two choices. You keep fighting or you quit. You complain about it.
Yeah.
You got to keep going.
Yeah.
You got to keep going. But sometimes I wish that we could just, certain stages in life, we could just hit pause. Just be in this moment for a minute. Let me digest this. So.
Yeah. So I don't really remember what everyone else was going through because I felt overwhelmed in my own mind and life. So my husband changed jobs about 2 weeks before I delivered Carson. So like he had a new job and that was going, and Carson was just a little guy and Hadley was small. And I remember, I don't know why everyone does this, but you have a baby and they're like, when are you going to have another one? Or are you guys going to plan on more kids? And I was like, I can't have a baby without my mom around. Like in my head, I felt like I couldn't do it. She gave my babies their first baths.
Wow.
And I was like, I can't do any of this without her. And so I was done with 2. But God wasn't. So we had Cassidy, and she was healing for us, for our family. Like when she came, it didn't feel like I thought it would feel. Like it was actually very positive, very, very good to get her in our lives. So she's 5 years. Yeah. Carson was 5 when she came.
Oh, so there's a 5-year gap.
Yeah. Yep. Which my family knew gaps, so I didn't think it was that big of a deal, but it is kind of a big gap.
It's funny you say that because Karen and I had 5 babies like a year apart. The first 5.
Okay.
Then we had a 5-year gap.
Okay.
And we got Emanella.
Yeah.
And trying to imagine what our life would be right now without them.
Yeah.
I don't even want to.
Yeah.
Like those
Yeah.
girls are like gifts to us, boy.
Yep.
So I can
Yeah.
appreciate what you're saying about Cassidy.
Yeah.
And then to hear the oldest 5 talk about how the 2 youngest ones are spoiled. Like,
Yeah.
you don't have the dad we had.
Right.
Like our dad, like, you know what I mean? And so it was,
Yeah.
but it's nice to have them and to
Mhm.
be able to not spoil them, but to have them around. And I missed
Mhm.
out a lot in the first 5 just because where I was at in life.
Correct.
And where I was at in life, those
That's right.
kids felt a lot of my struggle. I didn't mean
Yeah.
to put it on, but it was just there.
Yeah.
And then I was young. I was 20 something years old, trying to be a dad and working all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And I did the best I could, but having learned what I learned those first 5, it's nice to be able to have the opportunity to adapt
That's right.
and to do better with the next 2.
Yeah.
And it just feels, it was,
Yeah.
anyway, just,
Yeah. And that's where I was when I had Hadley and Carson so close together.
mm,
And I can remember things like, if you could just tie your own shoes, or if you could just buckle yourself in that, you could save me so much time. And those little things that I was like, you could just get to the next step, and just pushing life, like trying to fast forward through their little lives. When we found out we were pregnant with Cassidy, I was like, I am going to soak every second of this baby up. I am not going to wish any of it away.
good.
And I want to enjoy it. And for her, my husband ended up having major back surgery and was out for 12 weeks. So she was born March of 18, and his surgery was that fall, October. And so he couldn't hold her and things like that from the surgery. You couldn't pick up more than 5 pounds. He couldn't twist, bend, all that. But eventually he could. But he was around for her
Right.
because of that surgery. And then we went into COVID not long after that. And so then he was home all the time working. And so she got a lot more of him versus the
Got
older
it.
2 as well.
Got it.
And I remember thinking, I'm going to soak that in and appreciate this one a little bit more. And I did bring something I wanted to show you. It's in the other room. So if that comes a moment, I can grab something. It's
We'll
got a
catch it.
story too.
We'll catch you in the next break. But
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to reprimand you, but we did just have a break.
Yeah. And I forgot about it.
And
But
you
something
could've-
like,
You could have used that as an opportunity.
I know.
But you just, man, you women sometimes.
I
man.
brought it at least. It made its way to Florida.
Oh my goodness.
I know.
So now we got to take another break. I got to figure that out.
Sorry.
But luckily I got
It's worth it.
Luckily I got a good son-in-law right here,
Yeah.
Michael. Go
Behind
get
the
it.
scenes.
Go get it, brother.
Where is it at?
It's in my purse.
Bring her
You
purse.
just bring your purse.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bring her purse. And we don't edit anything, so this
Raw. And
was meant to be.
that's right. Good.
Hurry up, Michael. Like he's never had to go get a purse before. And I want it strapped over your shoulder when you bring it in here.
It is a crossbody. It'll look good. Okay.
There
Thank
you
you.
go. Thank you.
This takes us back to Mom. This was in my garden after I had my son Carson. Take a look at that. What is it? Can you tell?
This is Dr. Does it say Dr. Scholes?
Scholes. It's a
Dr.
shoe.
Scholes.
Shoe brand.
Oh, your mom wore those.
Yes. She wore those. And
Oh yeah, 'cause I remember as a kid thinking like they were like real thick
yeah,
and like
and
boxy.
she always had foot problems, so she always had to have
Did Grandma Armstrong wear those same type shoes?
probably.
Because
yeah.
I remember looking at their shoes
Probably.
and thinking, man, those are some big old boxy shoes.
Yeah. So I had Carson, like I say, the end of August, and sometime that summer, fall time, whatever, I was in my garden and I found that rubber piece of Dr. Scholl's. She was in my flower beds pulling weeds at some point when I was either at the hospital or something.
Wow.
And that fell off of her shoe.
Wow.
And I found her shoe and it was missing off her shoe. And I found that in my garden or in my flower bed. And I have held on to it ever since because it showed again, her personality,
go.
she probably didn't feel good,
Hmm.
but she wanted to help. And she knew that was one way she could help me out while I was.
Remember what I said at the beginning of this podcast? There are no coincidences. I'm beginning to understand there are no coincidences. We just don't see it. Like God has his perfect timing, everything. The problem is we're blind to it and don't see it.
That's right.
That wasn't by accident.
No.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
Keri, let's make another transition. We
Okay.
talked about your dad being a lost puppy.
Yeah.
We talked about that transition, what you went through in life.
Mm-hmm.
You went through another hard thing.
Yeah.
Like you didn't lose your dad, but in a way you did.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the next major weight that you carried in regard
Yeah.
to your father. You buried your mom. How many years later? Like, let's talk about the process. What's the next big one?
So Dad wasn't taking care of himself. Mom wasn't in the picture anymore. He was pretty much on his own, and fast food was his thing. It was just he wanted fast and quick and whatever was there. He wasn't going to make food at home, and he was diabetic, type 2 diabetic, and he wasn't taking his insulin. He wasn't taking his meds. He wasn't watching his diet. He had some heart failure stuff going on. So he had really cut back on the lawns, cutting grass. Because again, he worked at GM. He retired from GM in 2000. And then on the side, he would do auctioning and he would do the yard work. Yep.
Was he not taking care of himself because your mom just took good care of him? Or was he like did he not know how to cook? Like, like me, I mean, luckily I got those 2 little girls we talked about.
Yeah.
I feel like they could take pretty good care of me.
Sure.
But there's a lot of stuff just like listen to you talk that my wife, I don't know how to do laundry.
Yeah.
Like
exactly.
When we were in Michigan this last time, Kimmy was laughing because I didn't know how to do. Like, Keith, you don't know how to do laundry? He's like, no, I never had to. I got these 5 girls take care of me. So did your mom make sure he had his insulin? Like, did your mom, like, Corky?
Right.
Did you take your insulin?
Right.
Corky, was that,
So
was
she
that the relationship or no?
Yeah. I mean, she would try to make him a really nice meal, and then he'd get a Diet Coke or go get McDonald's on top. So
okay, so it's different.
He was bad patient.
It's different. Got it.
She was trying, and he's kind of,
So the enforcer's not here anymore, so I can do what I want.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, so it's different. Okay, got it.
Pretty much.
Okay.
So he stopped doing the activities. Like he still had the farm animals, but he didn't have the yard work, so he wasn't walking and pushing that lawnmower all the time because he only had walk behinds. He didn't have a rider, so he was getting that exercise. So that went way down. Junk food went up, and it was just the perfect recipe for health failure and a stroke. So in 2018, so we had Cassidy March 2018. My husband had his back surgery that October. We then, that next April, I don't know if we want to talk about the next thing that happened, but and my husband found out he had cancer, melanoma.
Okay, let's talk about it.
On his ear. So he got through the back surgery great, but even before that, he had a spot on his ear on the backside, so something he never would have seen. And I said, "What's that red spot? Is that sore? Is that hurt or whatever?" And he's like, "Where?" And I'm like, "Right here." And I touch it and I give him his hand, like, "Feel this spot." He's like, "Nothing. I don't know." He's like, "I have a physical coming up. I'll ask the doctor about it." So he asks, and she says, "Nothing. Don't worry about it."
Really?
Nothing to worry about. So let it go. Then he has his back surgery, heals up from that. And he was going to Great Clips, just a cheaper place to go get your hair cut. And the same person kept cutting his hair. And she says, "What is that spot on your ear?" And he's like, "You know what? My wife said something about it. You're saying something about it. I'm going to go to the dermatologist. Just get it checked out." So he went, and the dermatologist said, "We're going to take a biopsy of it, but I wouldn't worry about it. I don't think it's anything to worry about." Okay, cool. So now it's Easter time. It's April of 2019, and we're actually in line to meet the Easter Bunny with the kids. And he met us from work, and he said, I got the results back from that biopsy. Okay, what is it? It's melanoma. It's like the worst skin cancer you can get. So standing there in that line, just trying to take that in. Dad's stroke was the end of 2018. So we had that happen prior to the skin cancer. It was December 2nd or 3rd, but I believe it was the 2nd of December. It was a Sunday. Dad would religiously bring my children McDonald's Sunday morning before church. It sometimes slowed us down and it sometimes was not convenient, but he loved to do it and we let him do it. And the kids will always remember, they call them circle sandwiches from McDonald's and parfaits. Hadley got parfaits and the other two got, Cassie was tiny. So it was just the two older ones remember it. And he would drop that off. And then sometimes one of the kids would jump in the car with him because we're going to the same spot. So we go to church.
Right.
That Sunday morning, he had been to a garage sale and he got me a cement dog. He put it on my front porch. He brought us the food, got in his truck. We went to church. I was in the nursery and one of the guys does security and stuff. He's like, your dad's not acting right. He's kind of leaning, acting nauseous, not sure what's going on. So go down there. I'm like, Dad, what'd you have to eat today? He's like, I've just had some coffee. And that was typical for him. He really didn't eat breakfast good. And so I said, let's take you up here to the urgent care. So went up there and I was the only child there. So I kind of had to help make this decision for him and decided to take the ambulance to the hospital. And he ended up having the major full-blown stroke sometime in the ambulance on the way to the hospital. And my sister and brother-in-law, I think my brother-in-law was there at the time, but there was family there waiting at the hospital. It was hard to judge that timing because there is a shot they can give to try to reverse the effects of a stroke.
Right.
But it was really hard to make that judgment.
Yeah.
And it was a lot of pressure on the person there to have to do that. And so we opted out of that. You know, it was one of those things you ask the doctor, what would you do if it was your dad? And he was like, I don't think you should. And so we went with that, or they made that decision.
You had to make the call.
Yeah,
Somebody had to make the call.
That's right. And so he had that full-blown stroke and it affected his entire right side. He is right-handed. So full right side wasn't usable. We could see, the face changing and that kind of thing. We really felt like they weren't doing a lot for him and we felt frustrated by the hospital. But now knowing the stroke and what that looks like, there's really not a whole lot you can do. The body's just processing through it. It's a blood clot somewhere in the brain.
Wow.
It's trying to land itself and figure it out. And it's really a waiting game and there's really nothing you can do.
I don't do well on waiting games.
Oh, it was bad for us.
That's frustrating, especially when you're talking about the kind of stakes that you're talking about and someone you love and like that's hard.
It is hard. It's really hard to watch. And so that was December 2nd or 3rd on a Sunday. And he stayed in the hospital, from the hospital to rehab in the lower level of that same hospital the entire month of December. So that Christmas, he was there.
Wow.
And just we all went there to the hospital on Christmas, but you're taking a man who was independent.
Right.
He lost his wife. He's trying to navigate life without her. Now he can't even stand up. He's lost his truck. He can't drive his truck. He can't live on his own. His independence is completely gone. And so
he's slowly having things stripped away from him.
Correct.
And slowly being crippled.
Correct.
And as a man, like I can feel that because my identity is a provider, caretaker,
Mm-hmm.
the strongest one in the room. Like, what needs to get done? Like, hey, let me take care of somebody.
That's right.
And for me to be in that position, I would not take it well.
No. Nope.
That hits deep with me.
Yeah.
I can
Yeah.
feel that,
Yeah.
especially knowing your dad.
Yeah. It was tough. It was really tough to watch. So you're given an option. Where are you going to put him? He's got to go. He's done with therapy. Now what? And now this is a big
Let me help to understand
Yeah,
this. So he's in the
yeah.
hospital for, you said, a month.
month.
A month.
Yeah, from
Okay.
getting there to, finish with therapy. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Got it.
Yep.
So now he finished therapy.
Mm-hmm.
He's, what would you say percentage wise from what he was before the stroke? If you were to, if you're put on, if he's 50%?
He's not walking.
He's not even walking.
He's in a wheelchair.
He's in a wheelchair.
Can't feed himself.
Wow. Okay. Can't feed himself.
Yeah.
And along with can he bathe himself? Can he?
Mm-mm.
So he's
Dependent
helpless. He's helpless.
on everyone else. Yep.
Okay. I got the picture now.
Yeah. So his speech was bad. He was slurring. He was hard to understand. So he had to do speech therapy, occupational therapy, and physical therapy. Now this is where my sister Kathy comes in better than me for the beginning stages, but that was her life. So when they say he needs to go, like he's done, insurance can't pay anymore, where does he go from here?
Okay.
My sister Kathy, she does what's called respite care. So she works with special needs and elderly.
Oh.
She has the heart for people with special needs and the elderly. They just come to her. They find her because she has the sweet spirit about her, and it's just her thing. And she's been that way forever. When she went to Bob Jones University, she wanted to get into special needs, but they didn't offer that at the time. But that's just where she's gifted. And it was so cool after Dad's stroke to see everyone's background and how everybody could come together. So Dad still had his house and his animals. Sherry's got the animals. That's her thing.
And she's right around the
Step
corner.
up. Yeah. So she's like, I got the house and the animals. I can take care there.
Good.
I worked in physical therapy for 7 years, and I wasn't doing it, obviously, because I had quit work after having the babies. But physical therapy was my thing. So I was like, I'll come work with Dad. I'll help Dad get better and stronger. And then Craig is a pastor. His schedule was a little more flexible. So he teamed up with Kathy because Kathy's like, I'll take Dad. This is a no-brainer. I love this.
Oh.
So Kathy took Dad in after the stroke and teamed up with my brother Craig because his schedule was flexible, and they got him to therapy because it was a full-time job.
I remember
with the therapy.
this. I remember this because remember I said 6 years ago when I didn't know I had a cousin and I was up there for Uncle Ron. He ended up passing.
Yeah.
We went back up for the funeral. And I remember your sister and her husband bringing your dad to the funeral. And it was during that, right after that COVID area that they were worried if they're going to come or not because of his health.
Sure.
They brought him. And I remember your brother-in-law having your dad
That belt.
by the belt loop, supporting him by the belt loop.
Yep.
And I remember feeling sad because not what I remember your dad being like.
Yeah.
But I remember being thankful that the family was taking care of him.
Yeah.
So I remember a portion of that.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
Yeah. So they stepped up and took care of Dad. And
How long did they take care of him for?
around 2 years.
Wow.
About 2 years. Yeah.
So your sister's bathing him. They
Yeah.
just
And he's got an attitude like he's not loving life. And she got him at the worst time because she helped get him from wheelchair to walking with a walker.
She did that.
Yeah, with all the therapy and all the dedication to his health. And it took the two of them, like Kathy was still working. So she was off for some time, but she's so good at what she does. They just kept asking, begging for her to come back. So she went back. And so it was kind of, she could tag team with my brother. Like, I'll meet you at physical therapy. And she would drop him off. Kathy'd go to work. Craig could stay there and wait for him to finish and take him home. And they made a great team for those crucial times where it was important to get him in therapy. They did different therapies with his eyes and with his hand, because after the stroke, it's just squeezed tight and it won't open. And then there's different things you can put on the hand to stretch it open and try to get it moving again.
So you mentioned some of the physical things.
Yeah.
What about some of the behavioral things or emotional things, or like his personality wise? Did the stroke affect his personality?
It did. Yeah. He was emotional, cried all the time. And then he was just kind of defiant in some ways to Kathy. It's really challenging to be a caregiver and a family member when it's your dad, because you have to treat them a little differently to try to get them better and help them. And now he's not treating you like a daughter. He's treating you like you're the nurse or whatever. And that's hard to get through, when you're treated differently.
I want to take as much time as we need here, and I want to dissect it as close as we need to, because I think this is a reality for a lot of people nowadays. People are living longer. Strokes are a thing. I mean, my dad had a mini stroke a few years ago. He has to take a baby aspirin right now. Healthcare is expensive.
That's
Insurance
right.
doesn't cover a lot of things. A lot of times this responsibility falls on family members.
Yeah.
And I want to make sure that we do this justice for me. Again, looking forward to, if this is in my future, how do I take care of my parents? Like, I have some time, like what are some things I maybe need to put in place to make sure that they get the best care possible? Or for someone that's in the middle of it, that just feels like, man, I just need a break. So I just want to make sure we do this justice, and just as we're talking through it, just as memories come up, just process them. I also know that, and I don't know everything, but I also know that this period of time in your sibling's life was a strain.
Yeah.
I think that everybody has an idea of what the best pathway is, but nobody really knows what the best pathway is. You guys have never been in this position before. So everybody's trying to do their best, and sometimes someone has a different view than you, and that can be contentious. I don't want to, you have an opportunity here to speak that your siblings don't, and I don't,
that's right.
They can't speak for themselves, and we're not, I don't want anybody to feel like they're being judged unfairly, but just speak to the reality of it. The way, from your perspective, and then you love your siblings.
Yeah,
in
absolutely.
a loving, compassionate way. And this is not to cause hurt, but this is to help someone who may be their reality.
Yeah, for sure.
So let's navigate through it. Just walk us through it.
So it became challenging for Kathy, juggling.
I can imagine
that,
I can imagine.
And
for 2 years.
Yeah. And so it became hard. Her kids are grown, but she has grandbabies. And so she's working, she's wanting time with her kids, her grandkids. And dad was full-time as well. I mean, it was just asking a lot, and taking on an in-law, what my brother-in-law having to take on my dad too. I mean, living with them, and it's something you don't realize till you live it. And so I didn't understand fully until I was in their shoes.
Even your brother-in-law's perspective.
Yeah.
That's his wife.
That's right. That's right.
His primary is her. He needs to protect her, take care of her. And when he sees her being diminished, there's that side of
there's
it.
Her
like,
there.
Okay, I can see my wife is being diminished here.
That's
There's too much for her.
That's right.
And him wanting to do right by your dad, but also his wife.
Help
so there's
her.
all these dynamics that come into place when there's pressure on
That's
the
right.
family.
That's right.
Yeah, I can see
Yeah.
that. So let's
Yeah.
go. So
it was time to change things up. They had a full plate for a long time. And Dad needed somewhere to go. And we had moved into our current home in the summer of 2019. That home was built by a friend of my dad's. Dad had been in that home. And when we moved there, Dad had already had his stroke, but we didn't tell anybody. We just moved in. We sold the other house, or we started renting the other house and moved. And I got Dad in the car with me. And I said, we're going to drive to this place. Okay. We pull in. And I said, you know where you are, Dad? He's like, yeah, I'm at Jerry's house. I said, Dad, we bought this house. He's like, no kidding. Well,
hey, it's a nice house, by the way.
Thank you.
I've been at
I
several
love that
times.
house.
You did a good job.
I love that house.
Yeah.
That was my dream house.
It's a beautiful
actually. When I was younger, we would drive by there, and I was like, I've always wanted that house.
You did
And
a good
then
job.
we got it. It was just like crazy. But the basement is fully. It has a full kitchen, bathroom, bedroom, walkout.
Got it.
It wasn't why we got it, but in my mind, I thought to myself, Dad could stay here. He could live here if he wanted. And I asked him when we moved there, would you ever like to stay here? And he said, no, I would not want to be here. And I was kind of taken back by his answer, but it was okay. And then with circumstances, and Kathy, it was the end of 2020, she had to face COVID head on with Dad living with her and trying to make the right decisions for Dad. And that was hard. And so it was time to change things up. And I decided I would take Dad. I have a big phobia of shots, and I would have to give him a shot twice a day. And I don't do shots. I was going to have to do help in the bathroom. Phobia. Can't handle that stuff. I was going to have to do that. I was going to have to face a lot of fears and a lot of things that never wanted to do.
But you had the space for him.
I did.
And you felt like this is what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
So you didn't let those phobias or fears stop you from doing what
No.
you thought you were supposed to do.
Right.
Yeah.
And I just said, I can do today. And every day it was, I can do today. That's all I can do. And that's how I had to look at it.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
You said you had a phobia of giving shots.
Or receiving them. I hate needles.
Describe to me the first time you had to give him a shot.
He's a little bit of a jokester, and I put it in his stomach, and he went like that. And so, of course, I'm already freaking out that I'm going to hurt him. And then he did that just to be funny. So I was like, thanks, Dad. Just trying to break the ice, I guess.
Did you ever get used to it, or was it like?
Life with him was always
I'm talking about the shots. Did you ever get used to give him the shots?
Everything always kind of kept me edgy, like a little tense. But I got used to it, and it was not that bad.
Thinking about taking my parents to the restroom. You've had to do that.
Yeah.
Can you tell me what that's like? The first time.
Yeah.
Your dad.
Yeah. You go into like a survivor mode, like survival mode. You kind of are like, again, it's not about you, it's about them, and like helping them and making that process as smooth as you can without awkwardness or them feeling. He had said, I never thought my daughter would be helping me in this way. That was what he would say.
That had to be, again, for a man, just one putting myself in the shoes of the caregiver for my dad or my mom, trying to appreciate what you did. And then two, put myself into his shoes, that my daughter.
Yeah. hard, super hard.
The one that
Yeah,
I work for, and like I'm
That's
supposed
right.
to be doing this for you, so
That's
I can put
right.
myself in both sides.
That's right.
So let's hear it.
Yeah,
Your side
yeah.
to him, then his side to you. Let's hear it.
You know, it was like he sacrificed so much for us, you know, going back to him working so hard and to get us through school and what he viewed as important in our lives. And so I felt I owed it to him.
Mm.
And so that was the only way I could do any of it because, again, it was so hard, so hard. But, you know, like, I love old country music. Dad loves old country music.
Mm.
And I would turn it on and get the shower ready, get it warm in the bathroom, you know, and help him in there and just blast the music and try to set a different tone that, you know, kind of took us away from where we were and what we were
good.
actually doing. And thinking back to like mowing lawns and driving down the road with the windows down, he never used the air. We always had to have the windows down so your hair's blowing and everything. But the music going, the country going, and the windows down. And it's just, I was trying to go to a better place
Yeah.
that we were, because him and I, we spent a lot of time together. We watched wrestling. We grew up watching wrestling, which
listen.
mom hated.
I
that I loved
remember
it.
because going back to your 1,000 square foot house, not
Yeah.
1,000 acre square foot house or
Correct.
whatever it was,
So sorry.
the kitchen, the bedrooms all on one side, and then the living room,
Yeah.
and the way the couch is set up.
Yeah.
9 times out of 10, it was either baseball or it was WWF big time
Yeah,
wrestling. Your
that's
dad was
right.
a big time wrestler, but back when
He
wrestling
loved
was
it.
good, Jake the
right.
Snake,
Yeah.
Hulk Hogan, the
Macho
Andre,
Man.
the Giant, like that's back when it was good.
Yeah.
So
That's right.
let's hear it.
Yeah. So I was quite the fan. And if they ever were in town or had signings, I'd find out and I'd be like, Dad, we got to go. We got to go meet them. And so we've met quite a few wrestlers over the years. And my favorite was Hulk Hogan. Was just a little, like just over a year ago, Hulk Hogan was coming to town and I found out and I called Dad up at his home and I said, Dad, you want to go meet Hulk Hogan? And he said, yeah, I do. I said, all right, I'm going to pick you up tomorrow and we're going to go. And thankfully my husband worked it out so he could drive us. And so we all three went and it was a beautiful drive. It wasn't like expressway driving. It was kind of back road driving. And we ended up at this party store. Hulk Hogan came out with his own real American beer. So never had beer in my life. I want nothing to do with that stuff. So we pull up, we get a spot and they said, well, if you want to meet him, you got to buy a case of beer and you get a receipt. You go get a receipt, 1 case per person, and then you get in this long line. And then when you show your receipt, he'll sign the case and hand you the case. So there's 3 of us. So I was like, my word, I cannot believe we're doing this. And we left Dad in the car because it was a long line.
Right.
So
Yeah.
just let him. So we got a nice parking spot up front. So the plan was we come around the building. Once we get close, get him out, stand in line. He's only got to wait 15 minutes maybe. He can sit on his walker at that point. No big deal. So that's what we did. So I said, Dad, it's time to get out. Well, I needed to take him to the restroom. So we went and did that, came back, and one of the guys running the whole thing, he was kind of keeping an eye on the crowds and they were selling t-shirts and hats and stuff like that. He said, you guys here, come with me.
Good job.
Come with me. Dad says, man, if I'd known that happened, I'd have got out of the car a long time ago. It was cute. So we go right up to the front and met Hogan and talked to him. And Dad talked about how much he loved wrestling and watching him. And Hogan was real personable and genuine and had a good conversation. I said, all right, Hogan, do it all over again. Would you do it all the same? He said, yeah. But I'd change one thing. That leg drop just killed my knee and my back. He's like, I'd have done a sleeper hold.
Yeah.
So
Easier on the body.
pretty cool. Yeah. And then he ended up passing away not that long after. He had some complications with some surgeries, but wrestling was Dad and I's thing. We loved it. We loved that connection. We would get tickets to the Palace of Auburn Hills. We'd go to the Joe Louis Arena, Cobo Hall,
You
different
see
places.
Michael nodding his head over here. He knows all these places.
Yeah.
He's reliving it with
Yeah.
us. Yeah.
So we'd go, I'd get tickets. We'd go, get as close to the front as I could. It was amazing. It was my favorite.
So when you were doing things that you didn't want to do,
Yeah.
you mentally went to a better place.
Yeah.
You went to
I
rest.
did.
You went there.
Yep.
And it's funny how the mind can disassociate to get
Yeah.
stuff done. You
Yeah.
think about, listen, you women,
Yeah.
getting ready to have a baby,
Mm-hmm.
but you get it done. Like your mind, like God
Yeah.
made us in a way where, this is going to be hard, but our mind is able to adapt and figure it out
Yep.
when you don't think you could.
Mm-hmm.
In that moment,
Mm-hmm.
if I don't get this done, it's not going to get done. And God gives us those tools to be able to disassociate,
Yeah.
compartmentalize, or whatever to
Yeah.
figure it out.
Yeah.
And then do those hard things, because if I don't do it, who will? Yeah.
Right. Right.
All right.
Yeah.
Good stuff. So your dad's living with you.
Mm-hmm.
You jump forward to Hogan. You said he
Yeah.
was at a home. So how long was your dad with you, and what was that time like when he was with you?
He moved in around January of 21. And he stayed until April of 24. So I had just over 3 years with him.
So your sister had for 2, and you had just over 3.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I felt that weight. My kids, when he moved in, I had a 2-year-old, a 7-year-old, and an 8-year-old.
Wow.
And if we go back to when I was telling you how Cassidy was this surprise that I just wanted to soak in, I was being a little selfish. And one of the other reasons I didn't want Dad to live with me was because I just wanted to keep soaking in that baby. And I didn't want to share her. And so that was hard for me. I really just wanted to focus on her. I was still fully at home, and they had gone off to school, and it was just her and I was loving that. And so now I had to give that up so I could give Dad time. And so that was really hard for me, but the two of them napped together. She would go in his chair and lay on his armrest and rest her head on his, and I would find them sleeping, napping together. And, it was good for her. She has an appreciation for elderly because even the older two do too, but she spent a lot of time with him because she was home all day with me.
We talked about Cassidy kind of like being a healing process for you.
She was.
And then for your dad too. Like,
yeah.
Isn't that crazy? Again, when enough time goes by, God's plan, that wheel of God's plan sometimes goes so slow that we can't see it. And it's just got to take a few revolutions for us to see what God did. But even Cassidy, giving you the gift of Cassidy, to be there for your dad, to minister to your dad, to bring some healing to your dad.
Right.
Even though it never really got easier, just those little respites. If she wasn't around, it probably could have been a lot harder. No.
Yeah. Right.
In a way.
Yeah. And when I had her,
it gave him something to focus on.
That's right.
It gave him something to focus on. I can't sit here and be a pity party all the time. I got this girl that needs me.
That's
and like I can just see the dynamic as as I kind of like visualize it. I can kind of see that dynamic.
Yeah. And it was exactly like you have an old dog and a puppy. Have you ever had an old dog and you get a puppy and it like brings this life back into the old dog? And that's kind of what they did for each other. It brought life back to him. Like, where's my girl? Where's that Cassidy? When we were with our first two, we did not find out what we were having. And with her, we're like, she's a surprise. Let's just go for it and find out what we're having. And we talked about names, and we were scheduled to go to Disney. We found out we were pregnant, and we were scheduled for Disney, and a hurricane hit, whatever that 2017 year was. So trip was canceled, but my husband's like, we literally told the kids days before we were going to leave, and they canceled it just like down to the wire. So we're like, hey, guess what? We're not going now. Terrible. So we were like, let's go to a water park. So we pick a water park in Ohio. We spend the day there. We get ready to leave. Let's go to Bob Evans, have breakfast, and then we'll get on the road and go home. We go to Bob Evans, and the waitress walks up, and her name's Cassidy. I'm like, what do you think of that? It's like, I kind of like it. So I took one of the kids' menus, paper menus, and I wrote Cassidy, and I folded it up, and I put it in my purse. So then that was it. Like, we just loved the name. And then after that, we were like, okay, middle name, what are we going to do? So we were like, my middle name's Sue. My mom, her middle name was Sue. So maybe we could go Cassidy Sue. Some people had used Sue in the family. So I'm like, I don't know. So I thought Cassidy Coy. Dad's first name is Coy. Nobody had used it. Not one of the grandkids has his name.
Plus, it kind of rolls off the tongue nice. Yeah, that's cool.
So I said to my husband, I said, what do you think of Cassidy Coy? And he's like, I don't know. Not really sold on it. It's okay. That's all right. Whatever. Well, one night we're just getting into bed. It's quiet. He says, you want Cassidy Coy? You can do Cassidy Coy. And I just lost it. I was just like, thank you. So I think it's pretty cool. Another awesome story of how she's named after him. And when he came to see her at the hospital, I got to hand, and that was the other thing I wanted. I wanted a person here that I could actually say, she's named after you, Dad. Nice. And I said, her middle name's Coy. And he thought that was pretty cool. And then moving forward, him having that stroke that same year, the end of that year, and then being with us and them having a bond like none other, special bond, is just pretty cool to see that whole thing.
A gift.
Yeah, it really is a gift.
A gift in the midst of something that feels the opposite of a gift.
Correct. Yeah. It was such a heavy, hard time in my life, having to care for him in that way. Like I say, it was not something natural for me. Like I didn't want to have to do that side of with my dad. And so I drive my kids to school every day, and we're always talking, on the ride, and it's about a 20-minute drive. And one day I just said, tell me what you guys thought about Grandpa living with us. And Cassie said, I wish he still lived with us. Like, what seemed like a bad time, a negative, dark time for me, was good for her. And I'm grateful that my hard time didn't rub off on them, and that they didn't feel that heaviness that I felt, the side of it I had to do.
And I'm glad you said that, because that's one thing that I wanted to circle back to. You're dealt these cards. You're doing the best you can. Your sister took the lead, and then it worked out where, hey, now it's
my turn.
Now it's your turn. But different people's perspective on the same situation. Here it's crushing you, but your daughter is, hey, man, there was some good times for me, loving it. So that makes life complicated, because we see things at different angles, and some people are seeing a blessing in it. Some people are thinking, man, why am I dealt this? And trying to figure out which is the right one and which is the wrong one. What's the right reaction? What's the wrong reaction? I had Morgan Wright on the podcast a while ago, and he said something that I think about often. He talked about kids nowadays don't know how to swing on a swing. And I said, well, that's terrible. He said, no, it simply is. Some things it's just what it is.
Yeah.
It's not right or wrong. It's not wrong that a kid doesn't know how to swing on a swing. It's not right or wrong. It's just what it is.
Yeah.
He said, but I teach them how to swing on a swing. Because when you come to a place, well, this is just what it is, it gives you like the ability to have a positive mindset and okay, how are we going to navigate through this? That has helped me. And that's one thing I appreciate about having this podcast is getting different people's life stories, and it just kind of helps me broaden how I view life.
Yeah.
But it's interesting. Here
Yeah.
you are being crushed, and your daughter's, man, I love being around my grandpa.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's the same situation.
Sure.
It's the same person in the same house doing the same things. And it's just the perspective. And like, obviously you had a different response. You had a different role than that, or than her, obviously. But,
sometimes we try to protect our kids from things when reality is it's going to build character for them. And that's kind of how I was. I didn't want them to see him failing and hurting and, you know, at his low. I really didn't want them to see that.
and this is new territory for you.
It
So
was.
you're trying to do the best you can, and you're trying to do the best for everybody. It's
Right.
new territory. So it's
Yeah.
not right or wrong.
Right.
It just is what it is. And you're trying to do the best with the situation that was you're dealt
Yeah.
with.
And it brings another thing to know when you're put in this position as a caregiver for a loved one. There's heavy guilt. Like, I'm now losing time with my babies who are growing up so fast. And I'm trying to give dad enough time and them enough time. And feel like I'm losing at both.
You're
And my
stretched.
husband and my housework.
You're stretched.
I was so stretched, and I just felt like I had an elephant on my chest. I just had this like heaviness of overwhelmed, and I some days didn't even feel like I don't even know where to begin. But then it became almost like a zombie. Like I could get down to the basement to care for dad, and I don't even remember the steps, how I got there, because it was just became, you know, at the beginning it was like one day at a time. And then I was like, I just want this to hurry
In
up.
the beginning, it was one day at a time, but now it sounds like there is like time is one continual duration.
Correct.
It's not
Correct.
one day at a time. It's
Yep.
just one long day. I can feel it as you're
Yeah.
talking about that.
It was.
So you've already started this process of, you've already started this conversation. I want to stay here for a minute. Let's talk about this segment of time that you're in where, hey, I wanted one day at a time, but now I just want the days to get over with. I'm stretched. Now I feel like a zombie. Let's just live here for a minute. Tell me that story. And where was the breaking point? Was there a breaking point?
So anytime you see someone, the only thing they ever said to me was, "How's your dad? How's your dad? How's your
Okay.
dad?"
I feel
So
it.
things became no more about my kids or me or anything else. And I get it. I do the same thing with people. Like, if your loved one's not well, that's on your mind. That's what you're going to ask.
I want to hit a pause button here. I have a daughter that had a baby, and I have daughter-in-laws that had babies. And I can't remember which one said it, but they're carrying this child, and everybody's asking about how's the baby doing.
Yeah.
And them feeling like that same feeling you have. What am I, just a carrier? What am I, just the mechanism that carries that baby? Like having those real feelings.
Correct.
So again, as we share these stories, they're not to slander or to hurt, but they're to, hey, when you talk to a mother that's having a baby, just in the back of your head, hey, mama, how you doing?
Yeah.
Hey, mama, how you doing? Like just these things that we don't think about. So thank you for sharing that. And as we digest this, we'll just like, it's helpful to how we help us navigate in our relationships to love one another and just to be aware. So that was powerful. So they're all asking about your dad.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, you're feeling like,
Right.
I'm not doing that great.
Right. So they do I think it was for insurance, but they have someone call and they ask like, okay, this is for the patient. So, are they depressed? So he's asking me all this stuff. We need to go through this. Is your dad depressed? Nope. How's he sleeping? Good. Is he getting taken care of? Well, yeah, he's good. And he's going through all this. And I said, at the end, I'm really glad you didn't ask me those same questions, because I would have answered them different. Like, I was the one depressed. I was the one forgetting to brush my teeth. I was the one that was struggling. And
And in a way, you saying, I wish if you would ask me, that would have been different. In a way, that was a call for help.
Yeah. But then does that look selfish? And I was struggling with, am I being selfish? And am I a quitter if I say, I can't do this anymore?
Hmm.
And that was heavy too, because everyone says, that's your dad. Like, that's what you do. You give everything for a parent. You have to be honoring of a parent. Like, you have to do that. And I thought, but what about my husband that I made a promise to? I left my parents to go make a family with him, and now he's suffering, and I'm not giving him what he needs. And so I had to, my reality was he is my rock, and he is the one, he let my dad come live with us, and he allowed that, and he supported me, but I wasn't giving him what he needed
And
as a husband.
Not because you didn't want to, it's because you're spread thin.
I just couldn't get it all together.
There's nothing left.
And I had a short fuse. I couldn't, kids are always like, mom, mom, mom,
Yeah.
mom, 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 all the time in your ear. And instead of the person who used to be fine with that, I can't handle it anymore. I don't have anything left in me for what they are asking me to do or what they need. I didn't want to cook anymore. I didn't want to, I just felt so overwhelmed. I didn't even know where to begin. But Dad had that stroke, and part of his problem was his eating habits. And so I made sure he had good meals. I kept his sugar down. I was able to get him off some of his medication, and his insulin, he didn't have to take insulin anymore. I kept his sugar down so well that he was just taking a long lasting, it's called, and it's just one shot you get in the morning, and it helps just regulate your sugar levels. So his sugar wasn't going and spiking up, which then would need the insulin shot. He didn't need that anymore. So I was recording. Now, Kathy did all that too. And when he came to live with me, I just followed right what she did. She just said, this is how I do it. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to follow exactly, because what you're doing is working. And so, he was forced to eat right, because that's all I put in front of him. I let him go to McDonald's every Saturday, and I would take him to his friend's house every Saturday morning. Without fail, we drove him to her house and would pick him up late Saturday night. And then every Sunday we'd take him to church for both services. And then Wednesday night we'd take him to church.
Let me interject something.
Yeah.
Don't lose your thought.
Yeah.
But you said I was short-tempered.
Mm-hmm.
I'm learning to be patient with people. Let me just give an example. The other day, a few months ago, I was helping my daughter move to her new apartment, and somebody was using my truck. So I was using my wife's truck, not as heavy as my truck, and the trailer had a lot of weight on it. So when I would go down 75, if I hit a certain speed, the trailer started moving. So there's a car in the middle lane that was going too slow for me. So I went to pass, and the trailer started going like this.
Okay.
So now I'm like, I can't go any fast. I'm bypassing them, but not as fast as I want to. And a guy come flying up behind me, and he wants to go around me, but there's me here, this car here, like he can't get around.
Yeah.
And I'm feeling the pressure because I'm trying to get over. If I go any faster, I'm like, it's not good.
Mm-hmm.
So he's like real close on me, and I understand what he's feeling, but he doesn't know what's going on my side.
Mm-hmm.
I finally get over. He takes the time to make sure he gives me the bird the whole time he's driving past me, and the turn around and stick it out the back window too. And then he's not just holding it up; he's shoving it at me, so just to make sure. Like, I don't think that person is a bad person.
Yeah.
I think there's something going on in that life, in his life, where he's losing it somehow. Something is crushing him, and doesn't feel good getting the finger.
Sure.
But I'm good in my own self.
Yeah.
Like, I don't feel a reason to lash out at him.
Yeah.
That dude's going through something.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't understand that I can't go any faster.
Right.
It's not right or wrong. It just is what it
Yep.
is.
Yeah.
And to give him some grace, because you never know what's really going on with
Right.
somebody.
Right.
Because even if you ask somebody, they might not even tell you.
That's right.
So just have a little grace, a little,
Mhm.
and to be a little intuitive with
Mhm.
maybe not what people are saying,
Yeah.
but body language,
Yeah.
because body language tells a lot. So when you
Yeah.
said, I was losing my temper,
Yeah.
you're not an angry person and you're not a bad person. You're a person that's being crushed.
Mm-hmm. And that takes me back. One Saturday, we were dropping Dad off. I had the 2 kids in the back, and Dad was sitting up front with me, and I was going to drop him off, but we were stopping at McDonald's first. And McDonald's has this 2 order spots, and then you kind of like go to one lane again. So, not knowing that who's next, all
There
that,
you go.
know.
Okay. Yeah, no, I get it.
So I went, but the guy clearly behind me felt it was his turn. So window down, cuss words, finger, bad.
Yeah.
I got 2 babies in the back seat. Well, 3. Cassie was in her car seat. And they're hearing all this.
Yeah.
And they said, Mom, is he talking to you? And I said, yeah, he was next, obviously. And I took the next one and I shouldn't have. So I got up to the window and I said, I'm buying his breakfast. Whatever he ordered, I'm paying for that, guys. And my kid said, Mom, no, he was so mean to you. You can't do that. And I said, I can't. I'm going to do it.
Right.
Yeah.
Good for you.
And he kind of apologized
Did he
out the
really?
window.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah. He was like, gave me the thank you for
Yeah.
the breakfast.
That's cool.
But it was,
What happens, Keri, what
Yeah.
happens when 2 people lose perspective and you got a stressed out person
Yeah.
and another stressed out person that's pulling a trailer?
Correct.
You got 2 stressed out people. That's
Damage.
that's a recipe for damage.
That's
and then
right.
you got babies and stuff. So I'm just
That's
trying to be more careful, more aware. Like I said, there's nothing by accident. There's these things that happen in life that are ordained as a Christian, and then to make sure, man, I get it right.
Yeah.
And a lot of the way I see things from my human eyes at the angle I'm looking at it, probably most of the time I don't see it right.
Yeah.
I can only do the best I can do with what I can see.
Right.
And I don't think you can go wrong by giving somebody some grace and some love
Yeah.
and some compassion.
Yeah. Right. Because back to the McDonald's, I never meant to hurt that person.
Of course you didn't.
I
It's
didn't
ridiculous.
think. And so even in Dad's situation, there's times where people get upset with you for the way you handle things and you didn't mean it that way, or,
Right.
And it hurts really bad because you're like, I was doing this for the good of everyone, or I thought this was a good decision, or I don't know what else to do. I've never done this before.
Right.
And I'm just trying to put into perspective. I have kids. I have this.
Right.
I have all these other things. Sometimes people just think all I have is Dad and he's the main thing. And so why can't you do all this for him or whatever? And
I
it's
get it.
like, if it was just him, it would probably look different, but I'm still raising these kids. And what was happening in our lives was they started school. Now they have after school things. And now I'm leaving Dad more and more by himself, trying to, because I need to be with the kids and I need to do things with them. And that was where I was being more and more pulled.
We all have the ability, because we're created in the image of God. We all have the ability to make judgments.
That's right.
But there's only one that judges
Mhm.
perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
And even that's good.
Yeah.
We all have the ability to make judgments. The way I see it, you should just do it this way. Okay. But you're not God.
Mm-hmm.
Only He judged perfectly.
That's right.
So man, thank you for sharing this stuff, because it's
Yeah.
helping me with my perspective in life.
Mm-hmm.
Helping me a lot.
Yeah.
How much longer do you want to stay in this pocket here? Where
Like when he leaves my house,
this
or
pathway that we're on,
Yeah.
it doesn't sound like it's leading to a good spot.
Yeah.
Is there a breaking point? Have we talked about the breaking point yet?
Mm-mm.
Let's do it. What was the breaking point?
Um, I don't know exactly what it was, but I just know my husband had said he can stay as long as he needs to stay. And I said, I can't do another day. I just can't. Um, I finished up my 30s with dad living with us, and I just, we were really strapped for doing a lot of things. Yes, we had the family, and yes, they could help out. But when someone lives with you, you know them really well. And so it really was, I mean, I just knew I knew when he would have like a mini stroke. I knew how to handle him. I didn't get stressed out. I knew how to just let him do his thing. Because strokes, they run their course. And so I
So I didn't understand this. He's having mini strokes at your house that you're
yeah,
dealing with on top of everything else.
yeah.
Okay,
So
I didn't know that. So I'm
yeah,
glad you
he
brought
would
that up.
have,
So you're not just feeding him and other stuff. There's medical issues that
yeah,
that you're going through that you're navigating through.
yeah. So he would have, he would get sweats, he would get dizzy, the room would spin, his head would tilt, and he would have to be in the bathroom and bucket on his lap. And after an episode, he would go back to a wheelchair and he could not walk and he struggled with the bathroom. So I would have to lift him up into the wheelchair and then take him to his chair and put him in his chair. And he would fall from time to time, but I could get him up. He was 195 pounds when he left my house. And with his left side and some of my knowledge of working in PT, I knew how to get him up. And he always fell when it was only me home. And we just made it work. I always could get him up. And it was always like, let's just take a minute, just sit up a second.
Wow.
And then we'll get through this. And we'd find something stable that he could hold on to. And then 1, 2, 3, and we'd be up. And he's still a very strong man. So with what he had left and what I had, we made a good team to get him up off the floor. Yeah.
So not just the physical work that's taxing, but also the emotional, that this is your dad. You're watching your dad have mini strokes. Like just that can be taxing.
Sure. Yeah, because it would set him back quite a bit for maybe 5 days to a week. Sometimes it didn't at all.
So every setback means more work for you. It's like it's like another restart. Okay, here we go again. It's a constant restart. So I can understand why you're saying one day at a time. You're like, what difference does it make one day at a time? He has an episode. I'm back to square one again.
That's right. And it was working on his attitude again, because think about that. I mean, you take 5 steps forward and 3 steps back, and it's like all that work. So just that was hard. Really hard. Yeah. But it was once Cassidy started kindergarten. So when she turned 5, I started attending the gym down the street from me, which was within walking distance. My neighbor had kept pushing me, you should come. And I said, you know what? I need to make sure Cassidy, I don't want to take her there. There was no daycare.
Right.
So she would be sitting on the bench, and kids interact with you when you're trying to focus and stuff. So I said, right now I'm going to focus on the kids and dad and that, and then I'll get to that eventually. I was using the elliptical. I was running outside. I was doing things at the home. I'm pretty independent. Like, I actually didn't think I needed a gym because I was self-motivated. And so it just worked for me to work out in my own time and what worked best for me. But when she went to school and I walked into that gym, and I had never done any of that kind of workout before. I had never picked up a kettlebell. I had never done a burpee, none of that. And it was, I picked up on it, and the people in there there's no judgment. It's just.
Don't tell me you're going to Planet Fitness. Please don't tell me that.
No.
Planet Fitness is the judgment-free zone.
Sorry.
In my view, Planet Fitness isn't even a gym. So if you go to Planet Fitness, you can be offended by what I said because I want you to be offended.
No.
Because, oh, man.
No, not Planet Fitness.
Don't do it. Come on, guys.
This is a circuit.
let's get after
yeah.
it.
Yeah, this is good
I want
stuff.
you eating cupcakes after you leave the gym because you deserved it. Come on now.
No.
You know we don't edit this stuff, so I probably just made a lot of enemies just now.
Ooh,
Man,
ouch.
what a way not to build your brand, huh?
No.
Here's what I want to do.
Okay.
I gotta take another bathroom break. I'm
Okay.
sorry. I am 50.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
No problem.
I want to wrap up the little bit of story left with your dad and that transition when you left your house to the home that he's at now. Let's button that up.
Yeah.
And then the next thing I want to talk about is two things. And you already hit one, your fitness.
Mm-hmm.
You needed an outlet.
Yeah,
Sounds like
yeah,
we're going to
yeah.
be talking about your fitness was your outlet. I want to talk about that.
Okay.
And then I want to talk about where did your faith come into play?
Mm-hmm.
Because
Okay.
as you're talking about your dad and all this stuff, I'm thinking to myself, what's your Bible reading like? Like,
Yeah.
where's God in all this?
Yeah.
Are you being ministered to
Right.
at all by God? Or are you just in the dark?
Mm-hmm.
Those two things, those last two things I want to hit hard.
Yeah.
And I don't want to rush it.
Yeah.
So let me hit the bathroom.
Okay.
Michael, this Planet Fitness thing. Remember I told you don't edit anything? I'm just digging myself in a deeper hole, but you know what? It's all right. I'm comfortable with who I am.
This podcast brought to you by Planet Fitness.
Planet Fitness. Yeah. Judgment-free zone, lunk alarm. All right, let me hit that bathroom. This part of the podcast is brought to you by Vance Ranch. Vance Ranch is our family 100-acre ranch in Henry County. We have a 6,000 square foot barn where we host wedding venues, corporate events, anniversary parties, and whatever else you want to use it for. Find the link in the bio. Now let's get back to the show. All right, we're back from the break.
Okay.
Thank you
Yeah.
for letting me relieve my 50-year-old bladder that apparently your bladder must shrink as you get older.
Yes.
I don't know how big mine was when I started, but it's increasingly smaller. All right, so let's wrap up this transition with
Yeah.
this hardship with your dad.
Yeah.
I know right now he's in a home now, and
Yeah.
I think
Yep.
from what I understand, it's probably the best as what it can be. So let's just speak to that a little bit.
Yeah.
And then I want to hear about your fitness.
I would have said prior to, like, when Dad had the stroke, my words were, he will never go in a home. I would never put my dad in a home. I just couldn't see that being the route. But God allowed that for whatever reason. We ran out of options, and that was the next option. And we've met some amazing people there, like other residents. And my kids have so many good people in there that they love and look forward to seeing besides my dad. And I can say my siblings feel the same way. Like,
Good.
I can tell you names of people in there that we all go to see and hug and check on.
Good.
Because they're special too. And one thing that Dad wouldn't do at my house is, like, I wanted to take him to a senior center, and he's like, nope, I don't want to do bingo. I don't want to do euchre. I don't want to do all that stuff. And when he moved, he looks forward to euchre and bingo. He can't miss euchre and bingo. So he gained a social life with people kind of in the same boat as him for the first time. And there is a lot going on there. You know, there's always activity. And so his health has declined, but his mental health, like, he does have stuff going on, and he is, meeting people and that side of it too. Good. So
Michael said, pull that mic closer.
So
Michael's that good enough? All right.
Yeah.
I know, listen, these homes, thank God for them.
Right.
I'm sure, like anything else, there's good ones and bad ones, just like schools, just like anything else.
That's right.
You need to vet them. You need to make sure it's the right fit for your loved one.
Yeah.
Thank God for them. Just like hospitals. I mean, I'm glad there's these institutions in place to take care of people. I think in our culture, other cultures, people take care of their elderly in home, and we have these facilities as a part of our culture, and I'm thankful that they're there because it gave you a break. Not that you don't love your dad, you still go see him and just create this, and he's being taken care of. But just because he's in a place, you need to still do your job and make sure your dad's getting the right care.
Yeah.
Right. So there's that. The other thing, as you're talking, is I know that these facilities, elderly care facilities aren't cheap.
Correct.
I know they're not cheap.
That's
so
right.
for me, watching my grandfather had Alzheimer's.
Yeah, I remember.
My dad and my sister took turns taking care of him.
Mm-hmm.
I saw like what you're describing, I
Mhm.
saw my parents age exponentially when they were taking care of my grandfather.
Mm-hmm.
When that sundowners comes on,
Yeah.
the sun goes down and he forgets where he's at and he's trying to escape. He's trying to, they had to screw the windows closed because he's trying to open the window and cut the screen out and escape to go home. We had a guy here locally. It's here in Florida. We had a freeze. We got some farmers covering crops.
Mm-hmm.
Alzheimer guy with Alzheimer's got out of his home somehow. His caregivers got out of his home. It's 30 something degrees, and they found him in the woods down by some river. So
Wow.
with dementia, Alzheimer's,
Mm-hmm.
we're living longer. There's need for these care facilities, but they're expensive, right?
Correct.
So for me,
Mm-hmm.
I'm in a financial position right now where I can kind of lock that down. So
Yeah.
I watched how my parents tried to take care of their dad and ended up putting him in a home,
Mm-hmm.
and how he had a pension through the military that covered some of it, but
Yeah.
it was also an expense to them.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say, hey, as we share these stories,
Mm-hmm.
if you're listening to this and there's a hole that's not filled and you're able to fill that hole, think about your parents
Yeah.
so that you can give them the best care possible and that finances aren't the strain.
Right.
You want to be able to give them all the
That's
emotional,
right.
physical, all the support. The
Right.
financial is a whole nother level
Yeah.
of responsibility.
Sure.
When that's just locked in and taken care of.
Yeah.
So there are life insurance policies that cover care. Like my kids won't have to worry about my wife and I.
Mm-hmm.
It's taken care of.
Nice.
Not everybody has that option. And again, leave enough room for God to be God.
That's right.
Right?
Yeah.
But also be prudent and discerning.
Mm-hmm.
And, don't be blowing your money on things that don't matter if you
That's right.
can take care of the future a little
That's
bit to
right.
make life easier on
That's
others.
right.
So just these things as we navigate.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm glad Uncle Corky's in a good spot.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm glad I hear these reports that he's,
Yeah.
you know,
He's still there.
Still
He knows who everyone is, and he's
Yeah.
got names down and all that. So that's good. Yeah. Before I moved him there, I had a caregiver coming to the home to help me with him a few days a week. And that was one option that I tried before, but it's hard to allow someone into your home. And I did get very close with her, and we did have some connections. Her granddaughter was going to the same school as my children. She was a Christian, and we became good friends.
Good.
So even that route was a blessing, and I really appreciate her. But when she decided to leave the caregiving and pursue another career choice, I felt like God was closing that door. And I gave it one more option, like one more caregiver coming into my home, and I couldn't find, there was 2 or 3 before her, didn't work out. And when she walked in my door, I said, you're going to raise your right hand and say, I solemnly swear to stay more than 3 days, because everybody would just come a couple of days and then they didn't show up anymore.
Bill.
I'm like, what are we doing wrong here? And she stuck around, and she was amazing, and I appreciated her. And then when she left, I tried one more and another fail. And I said, you know what, it's time to pursue. And then they have a company out there where you call, and it's called A Place for Moms.
Yeah.
And you call that number, and then there is a person that will help you. You tell them your story, and they will find the place for you. And they'll say, okay, here's 12 places.
Oh, good.
And then those places call you, and you can go visit. And that's how we found the place he's at.
Good.
Yeah. So,
Good.
Yep.
You started talking about some fitness stuff.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So you're wearing a tank top over here. I wish
What?
you're pretty fit there, girl. don't like people showing me up
Oh,
on my
I'm
own. I
sorry.
don't like people showing me up on my own show. I wish this shirt was like a little tighter, just so hey, you can see I got some stuff too. But you talked about your fitness.
Yeah,
And it sounded like it was a release for you during a stressful
it
time.
was. It
So
was.
we talked about some heavy, hard stuff.
Yeah.
We talked about some painful stuff.
Yeah.
So let's talk about something
Positive.
something
Light,
positive.
some light,
Some
yeah.
light. Let's get it. Let's get it.
Yeah.
You and I live in this world.
Yeah.
I think this is how you and I connected a lot in fitness.
It
So
was.
let's hear it. Let's
Yeah.
go.
I back when I was we got married in 2009, and probably about 2008 a friend of mine said, "Hey, you like to run, you want to do a marathon?" Well, I mean, I jogged with the dog. I mean, it wasn't anything too
I
crazy.
remember this.
And I had never done a race of any kind. And I was like, I didn't even know what a marathon was, what it meant. And I was like, sure, we'll sign up. I'll sign up. So I signed up, and then it's Chicago. So I did the Chicago, and I put the beginner's guide. I printed it off, and I checked off every day, and I just followed it to a T. In the meantime, we got engaged. So then I was like, okay, we're going to have a wedding. We got married, and like we got back from the honeymoon, and then it was the race. I had to leave for Chicago. So I tried running in Hawaii, but it was just a lot different there. And so I didn't do great running, but I finished in under 5 hours, which was
26.2
pretty decent.
26.2 miles in 5 hours.
Yeah.
Michael, do the math for me. I want to know what that pace per mile is. 26.2 miles in 5 hours.
Yeah, it was just under 5. So that was kind of my first thing that I did that pushed me, that I had never done before.
And you didn't prep for it?
No, all I did was the basic guide. It said beginners.
Oh, got you. You did. There's a
So
guide that says
I was
you ran so many
increasing
miles per
my
week.
miles.
Got it. Understood.
Yeah,
Got it.
so I was doing that. So that was kind of my first one, and then I didn't want to do that again, but I did do a half one. There's the Crim and then the Brooksy. I ran
Hold on a
those two
minute.
after.
We're
Yeah,
going to find out what your pace per mile was.
You say it was 5 hours?
yeah.
So it's just about 11 minutes.
Okay.
11-minute mile.
Yeah.
That's pretty good for
It's pretty
26.2.
good.
That's really good. That's really
That's great.
good.
And my husband was.
You were moving.
I guess it's pretty flat, but I'll tell you, at the end of that race, there's just this is like a hump. Like it even can't even call it a hill. And I tell you, it looked like Mount Everest. And I'm just like, oh my word, I got to go up that hill. And if I drove there right now, I'd probably laugh because it's like a speed bump. It was nothing. But my husband said I looked pretty rough coming into the end. And
But even a bump in the road,
yeah,
when you're diminished,
yeah,
when you're wore out, a little bump it's all about mindset. And here we
is.
talked about all the stuff you went through your dad and you're being diminished. And like any little bump is like, oh man, another mountain. But it's all
Right.
comes back to, if you're feeling good, you get your perspective right.
Yeah.
Oh, you go back and say, oh, that was just a little bump.
mm-hmm.
But when you're diminished, when life is heavy on
Yeah.
you, I can't even do
Big
this.
bump.
So the fitness thing translates to me. The fitness thing translates over to real life.
Yeah.
And I make those connections in real
Yep.
life. I think it makes me a better person, makes me more well-rounded, helps my perspective. So keep going. Keep
So
going.
I did a marathon. I did a half marathon and a 10 mile. And then I did 5Ks from there, and I never went. I never had any desire to do any more than that. So I had been running ever since then. And then just in the last few years, the body started hurting, like the hips hurt. Like I just was not doing well. And I kept pushing to hopefully like get over that hump and running. Maybe it's like, okay, maybe it's that first mile and then I'll be good. And I went to physical therapy. I went to the chiropractor. Then it just hit me. Why don't I just stop running? Like, just stop running. And that's about the time that my life had gotten to the point where Cassidy was in kindergarten. I had just dad at home. I had some time. Gonna go try out this gym. So then I went to the gym, and now we're doing cardio, we're doing weights, we're mixing it up. We got
CrossFit style
muscle
stuff.
confusion.
Yeah. Is
Yeah,
it CrossFit style
correct.
stuff? Yeah.
Absolutely. more
AMRAPs,
hit.
EMOMs, yeah, hit stuff. Got
Correct.
it.
So again, I had never done that before, but I was like, this is good. And it was 30 minutes. Like, I can do this for 30 minutes.
And you didn't have a lot of time on your hands because you take care of your
Right.
dad and the baby. So
Correct.
30 minutes just down
Yep.
the road, jumping in there, getting my heart rate up. So I can
was
feel
perfect.
this. Yeah.
It was perfect timing. And
30 minutes to yourself.
yeah,
Sometimes
it's
that's all it
great.
takes.
It was great.
Sometimes that's all it takes just
Yeah.
to stay in one more day. Yeah, it's good. Keep
Yeah.
going.
So, that's pretty much it. Like, I just worked out there. I told him that so my degree is in exercise science. I took that and worked in physical therapy as a technician or an aide
Mm-hmm.
for 7 years. And then, but I always liked the fitness side of things. So sometimes I'll help out at the gym. And
So a couple
Yeah.
things. You sent me a message through Facebook a while ago
okay.
of you carrying some dumbbells. You're
Yeah.
doing some farmer carries with some
Yep.
dumbbells.
200 pounds.
Okay.
200 pounds.
All right, bros. You guys, you can't see those traps underneath their hair, but 200 freaking pound farmer carry. Listen, women are built for carrying babies. All right, that's what it is. God gave you that
Yeah.
strength to carry
Yeah.
babies. 200 pounds. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So let me explain
for
to me
1
this.
minute. Yeah.
200 pounds per minute.
Yeah. Carrying it for a minute.
When you went to do that, what was your mindset like? Did it look too heavy? Like, walk me through this.
Yeah. So he had a stack of dumbbells. The last ones were 85s. And I looked at them 100 times and I was like, can I pick them up? Like, they're huge. So I picked them up and I walked across the room with them and I kind of threw them down because I thought I was going to break my toe. And I was like, that wasn't too bad. What else you got?
Mm-hmm.
And then he's like, I got these straps and you put the plates on them. And then you hold the handles and you got plates. So I'm like, okay, let me try 100. And I just kept going and going and going. And then I got to like 200 and it was just physically falling out of my hand. And I said, what do you got to strap to me? Can you Velcro this to my wrist? And he's like, yeah, we could strap it on. And I'm like, do that. And then I stopped at 200 and I held it for the full minute because if you've heard, grip strength is very important in aging process. Very important. Like if you want to open a pickle jar at 90, be independent at 90 years old.
Yeah.
You have your grip strength.
Flexibility is important.
Yep.
Squatting is important.
Mm-hmm.
Lateral movement is important. Grip
Yeah.
strength is tied to longevity. If you can retain that grip strength as long as possible, the odds are you're better off.
Yeah.
That and maybe this doesn't. Maybe you don't have this mindset. But I know I got 5 girls and a wife.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like men are maybe more secure in trying new things than women. I feel like women carry more self-doubt than men.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know where that comes from. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Can you identify
absolutely. Yeah.
So you're going to a gym. This is new for you.
Mm-hmm.
You're looking at this weight. I want to talk from a woman's perspective. It's still strong, and I want to speak to another demographic that I can't speak to.
Yeah.
I know women, they look at other women and say, man, she's pretty. And I'm looking at her and you, I'm thinking, I think you're just as pretty or prettier. I think there's this mechanism with the way women see other women or other things that they diminish themselves or elevate others.
Yeah.
Can you speak to that at all? Because I think there's something here in regard to so much so that's paralyzing that I think some women struggle with even putting themselves out there because what if I fail?
Mm-hmm.
Well, what if you fail? So what? Like in my mind, so what? So what if I can't do it? I'm confident in who I am.
Sure. Yeah.
But there's something different in a woman.
Mm-hmm. I don't know how I feel about all of that, but like when people compare themselves to me in the gym, because I am a little over the top when I work out, and and they comment on that, I just say, do you, and don't worry about me. Like, I'm just trying to outdo myself.
So what
I know my goals.
So what I spoke to is true. It's just you're the pretty girl in the room that everybody's comparing themselves to. You're the strong one in the room that everybody's comparing themselves to. So what I just said is true.
Oh boy.
So you're telling them, hey, just do you.
Yeah.
Don't worry about me.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know no one's ever said that, but I mean, it could be the case, but and I don't even know if it's, well, okay. So we're doing ropes. What do you call the
Battle ropes.
battle ropes? So
You don't even
there's,
know what this stuff is called, and
I know.
you're crushing it, and that's why I love it. What are those rope things called?
so
Those things I go like this, and everybody else trying to keep up with me. Everybody else mad at me, comparing themselves to me. And I'm saying, hey, just do you. So, all right, let's go.
So we're instructed on what we're doing. So we stand there and we listen to the instructor, and they tell us, when you get to the station, this is what you do. So she says, when you get to the ropes, why don't you try taking 2 handles in this hand and 2 handles in this and doing big circles, get the shoulders going. Well, I guess I was the only one that heard that, because when I got to the ropes, I did exactly that. I grabbed 2 here and 2 here, and I did it. And they're like, show off. I said, did you not listen to her? She said, push yourself. I'm just pushing myself. So I'm just pushing myself. Like, when I get in there, I know what I'm capable of, and I try to go a little more than that. And I do have some issues with my shoulder, and I know that. And so there are some things that I'll grab 5 pounds, but I can't go heavier, or I'll be hurting all night long and I won't be able to sleep. So
you have the mindset that I have. It's you versus you.
It's
you versus you yesterday.
Correct.
There's no one else in the room.
No.
I'm not thinking about anyone else. I'm not comparing against anybody else. It's just you versus you. So maybe that's the thing to unlock, whatever it is, in some women.
Yeah.
Like, it's you versus you. Don't worry about anybody else.
That's right. And
they're not thinking about you. Why are you thinking about them?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe you're correct on that, because I don't compare myself to anyone in there.
Good for you.
I just push I just do it for me. And I see everything we do in there, I can use at home in life. Like, I just always, after what my dad has been through, I want to be independent, to some extent, where I don't have someone who has to help me through life. So I want to be as independent as possible physically, as long as I can. So, yeah.
I know another thing you did. I saw a video. Did you climb a freaking rope 15, 16 feet up there?
Yeah.
Like, you either do it or you don't.
Yeah.
It's not something you can really practice. I guess you can practice doing pull-ups or whatever. But
Sure.
anyway, when you first did the rope, what was your mindset? Was it like, it sounds like everything is like you, like, oh, okay, well, let me just try it. It sounds like that's your
That's right.
what goes on in your mind.
Yeah. So the owner of the gym, Josh, I wanted a rope in the gym. And so one day he's like, guess what? We got a rope. I'm like, sweet. I'm going home and I'm going to get the tallest ladder I have, and we're going to put it up. So I went and got my ladder, and we put the rope up. I don't know what it is, but it's small, it's skinny, and it's waxy. It's brand new, and it's slick.
It's not the right kind of rope to be using. You told me what the rope is. It's the rope they use in these Spartan races.
That's right.
It's supposed to make it extra hard. It's not hard. The one that I have that's made out of like a burlap type of material, and it's like gritty, and it's like bigger around. Yeah. You got the hard one.
We started with the hard one. So he taught me how to loop it around your feet, to use your legs to push up, grab, fix your feet, and then go again. So I couldn't really do it the first couple of times, and I just kept working on it. And then finally everything connected.
It clicked.
And I went right up it, and I did a workout, and then I did it before a workout, and then I did a workout for 30 minutes, and then I'm like, now I'm going to climb it. So then I climbed it, worn out, and that was fine. The last time I climbed it, though, I lost my feet and I slid, like I just burned down with my hands, which was pretty rough.
Let go. Just
But
learn
then
to
I
let
let go eventually.
Learn to
Yeah,
let
and
go,
jumped.
girl. Sometimes you just gotta let go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Same in
So
relationships. Sometimes relationships can be like a rope that just burns your hands.
That's
Sometimes
right.
you gotta learn how to
yeah,
let go.
that's right. That's right. So
That sucks.
yeah,
I can feel it right now.
yeah. But so those are some things, and the kettlebells, like that's really fun. Never did that before. I enjoy the kettlebells quite a bit.
Kettlebells are kind of like burpees to me.
Yeah.
They get your heart going.
Yeah.
It'll get your heart going.
Yeah.
It'll make you second guess all your life choices.
Sure.
So things like that are good for you.
That's right.
It's good for you.
Yeah.
Good cardio,
Yeah, it's good to
overall
still-
strength, good stuff.
Yeah. Push yourself. Yeah, I think that's about it with the fitness. It's always trying new stuff, always pushing yourself.
And
Love
then,
it.
so it feels good to work out.
Mm-hmm.
It feels good to be strong. It feels good to see some of the fruits of your labor.
Mm-hmm.
It just feels good, you know,
Mhm.
self-confidence, all that good stuff. But
Yeah.
for you and me, it's not about that. It's about being everything I'm supposed to be as a mother, a
Mhm.
wife. Like, and for you, obviously, I'm not a mother. But for me, a husband, father,
Yeah.
caretaker, it translates over to that, and that's what it's all about.
Mm-hmm.
No one has ever said after working out, man, I wish I hadn't done that.
Correct.
Every time I haven't felt like doing it. Sometimes you just not every day you're 100%.
Yeah.
Some days you're 70%.
Mm-hmm.
But do your 70%.
Yeah.
Be consistent.
Yeah.
You don't have to go hard all the time.
Right.
Just move.
Right.
Let's tie this together. And how did your fitness help
Mhm.
you with your caretaking for your dad? Did it help with it just feel good just to clear your head?
Yeah, mental release for sure. It was just time for me for a little bit where you just push, knock it out and forget about what's waiting for you at home or whatever, the responsibilities, the heavy responsibilities. It was really a release. And I will say my youngest is so much like me. Like she has the same body. It's so funny. Like she's built like me, and she'll go to the gym and she'll do all the circuits with me.
Wow.
She does the ropes and all of it.
So you started
Yeah.
an example
That's
for
right.
her
That's right.
that she's going to need in
Mhm.
life because she's going to have her own challenges.
That's right.
That's good.
But the older ones see it too.
Good.
And
Keri, I don't think I've ever told anybody this. I don't think I've ever told anybody this. But I've had you can't go through life. Nobody goes through life without experiencing some weight, some heaviness. We all do.
mm-hmm.
Some, just life just pulls you down. I've had my share. A lot of things I take to God and through prayer,
Mm-hmm.
Through His Word. But when it comes to fitness, when you got a bunch of weight on a freaking barbell
Mm-hmm.
and you correlate that to this weight that I'm feeling emotionally and like all this responsibility,
Mm-hmm.
and you just grab that freaking thing with
Yeah.
everything you got,
Yeah.
and you're giving it everything you got, there's been this release, kind of like a pressure cooker.
Sure. Yep.
That release diminishes, that emotional and all that, the hardship. Something about the two has been therapeutic for me and kept me in a good spot.
Mm-hmm.
You know how many times I've been over there working out by myself, just bawling like a baby because I'm just getting all this stuff out, all this emotion out that I really didn't even know was crammed, packed in there so tight.
Mm-hmm.
And just something about grabbing a heavy barbell and just giving everything I got releases something else inside me. So that's why I wanted to correlate to your hardship that you went through in the fitness. Anyone that's going through a hard time, take 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Go for a walk.
Redirect.
Go for a walk. Catch
That's
your
right.
breath. Just
That's right.
get something. Get your sanity back. think on things that are positive, of a good report, things that are good. And your situation might not change,
Yeah.
but at least you get a breath.
Mm-hmm.
At least you get a breath. Everybody needs a breath.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
Man is created to work. God made us to work. And there's something therapeutic about exerting the body.
Yeah.
Exerting the
That's
body.
right.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I went to visit you. I went up there. I don't know when. Took my family up there, show my kids around.
Yeah.
And you're trying to get me work out. And I said, hey, girl, I'm only here
Yeah.
for 3 days.
That's right.
I got to spend time with my kids. Sorry.
Yep.
But I can't work out with you.
That's right.
But I did fly up the next month
That's right.
to come see you.
I'm glad you did.
Flew all the way up there,
And then the gym was closed.
and your freaking gym was closed.
That's right. Yeah.
So I went to the local store. I bought some kettlebells and some dumbbells. I said, hey, let's just do like a Murph workout. Let's just do like we didn't even have a pull-up bar. Let's just do a Murph-style workout.
Push-ups, sit-ups,
We did some
run.
push-ups, sit-up, and we ran. It
Yeah.
was a good time.
Couple rocks for keeping count.
Keeping count of our rounds.
Yeah.
It was a good time.
It was good.
I think on the run, I think you were slowing me down. I think I could have
Oh.
ran faster.
Probably. My
I was
cardio
trying to-
isn't what it
I
used
was
to
trying
be.
to stay with you, trying to make you feel not too bad, but I was trying to keep pace with you. Like, man, it's this young girl here, I can't be showing her up too bad.
Well, my legs are a lot shorter too.
Actually, I think it
I
was
barely touched the floor on this chair.
Actually, I think it was the other way around.
Oh.
I think you're sandbagging it for me. But even that, even like a communal thing as far as fitness, you can do it. Sometimes it's good for me to do it alone. I learn a lot about myself doing it alone, me versus me. But it's also can be a communal thing.
Yeah.
Hey, let's get together and do something. I really enjoy fitness, and
Yeah, it's good.
it's a bond that you and I have.
It is.
Yeah, something we can
Yeah.
connect on
Yeah.
and speak the same language that maybe others people can't speak to. So
Sure.
Been
Yeah.
good. It's been a good relationship builder for you and me.
Yeah.
Are you ready to make another transition yet, or you want to talk
No.
about some more fitness stuff? You want me? We already talked about your farmer's carries, that you can
Yeah.
climb a rope. Is there any other awesome stuff that you can do that you want me to tell everybody?
Mm-mm.
You want to tell me what your bench press is, what your squat is, or
Now we skip it.
you just keep it on the down low?
Right. Right.
All right. Faith.
Yeah. Yeah.
We've talked about some heavy stuff.
Yeah.
I know you're a Christian.
Yep.
I know your parents raised you
Mm-hmm.
all the ways of God's word and
Mm-hmm.
accepting Christ as your personal savior, and that
Yep.
we talked about a lot of transitions in life and trying to navigate through those transitions and what's right and what's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
The only sure thing that we have in life is the word of God. That's the
Mhm.
only thing we have.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only thing at the end of the day that is a solid foundation that we can cling to in a dark place and in uncertainty. We just, by faith, cling to it. Can you speak to that at all? Your faith?
Yeah.
Whatever that looks like for you. I don't want to put words in
Yeah.
your mouth, but your faith, God's word, all that
Yep.
stuff through the ups and downs.
Sure.
What you got?
He always has a way of when you open the Bible, it speaks to you. That happened a lot where I would be reading and it just was what I needed that day. Like I can't give you a specific right now, but it always was applicable at that time. And there were times where I was getting into my own head and then it would just kind of set me focus back and say, okay, no, you need to think this through again. And then trying to say, okay, Lord, you did this for a reason and I need to make the best of it. And I need to see the positive. Thank you that I was able to take my dad. Thank you that I get more time with him. Thank you that my children get time with their grandpa. Thank you that I'm able to be here for him and help him. And again, seeing how God used my siblings and the way that they were able to help where I couldn't. And I felt like the 5 of us made a team for mom and then for dad in ways that I'm not comfortable with this, but you are, and this and that. And then again, some things I wasn't comfortable with, I learned to be comfortable with or to figure out. And it stretched us and taught us in that way. It wasn't easy, but nothing, I think the hardest stuff makes us stronger. So I'm thankful for that. And, just we stayed faithful in the church. And
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
You just said you stayed faithful in the church.
that's right.
When life gets hard,
Yeah.
sometimes there's another thing that comes into play, which would
Mhm.
be a demonic or satanic assault where
Mhm.
the devil sees opportunities to like, oh, they're under fire here. Let me get in there.
Yeah.
And to cast some doubt and things in their head.
Sure.
You said you stayed faithful to the church.
Right.
And if there wasn't, there wasn't. I don't,
Yeah.
was there ever a time that you thought about quitting?
No, not at all. Because what I'm
Because
saying,
some people do think about quitting.
yeah, well, because what I'm saying is I could have said, I'm going to stay home and take care of
Oh,
dad, or I need to not do these jobs in the ministry because I have my dad. You know what I'm like?
yeah.
I could have stepped away for the sake of dad, and that wouldn't maybe have looked bad, but church was important to dad. Dad was a deacon there, and he wanted to be there too. And I wanted to make sure he got there if that's what he
Got
wanted,
it.
because he looked forward to seeing those people and they looked forward to seeing him. And even though it was hard to get him there, I think it was good for him to be there. And so we just kept doing. And if I had to be in Sunday school doing the class or in the nursery, somebody could sit with him in the service and keep an eye on him.
Mm.
And I would just let someone else take him for that time, and then I would go do the nursery or help Tom with the Sunday school class. So we never had to. There might have been some things I had to say no to, but to me, that's giving someone else an opportunity to step up when I can't do it. We don't have to do everything,
Right.
so we can say no. And like I say, a no to me from me might be a yes to someone that wouldn't have done it because I'm trying to do everything, and then next thing you know, I'm burnt out again.
Understood.
So yeah, I mean, we were able to continue to be involved and all that through that. So it was good.
We're gonna wrap this up, but a verse comes to mind. God's grace is sufficient in all things. I think
Mhm.
your testimony is a testimony of His grace being sufficient. It is
Mhm.
more than enough. God's word said He doesn't put on His children more than they can bear. Although a lot of times it feels like it is, but He doesn't just dump it on you and say, "Figure it out."
Right.
He supports with us, man.
Yeah.
Like you can feel His presence in those times, that He's with us, and that strengthens that bond to Him. Like He loves me, and
Yeah.
you don't learn those things when life is easy. You learn them when all my days are running together.
Yeah. And I feel like when we feel like it's more than we can bear, it's because we're trying to do it without him
Good point.
and we're carrying it. And he's up there saying, I can do this. Why are you trying to hold all this stuff? Just hand it to me. It's like it's like a father and a son. You know, dad's strong. Dad, if you're carrying 10 bags into the house,
Right.
dad's like, just hand them to me. I'm strong. I got this. And so I think that's when we do feel overwhelmed and we say, God's given me more than I can handle. Well, maybe we're just handling the situation wrong and we need to give it to God and redirect our thought process,
Keri, thank you for flying 1,200 miles here to be
Yeah.
with me. Thank you for investing my life. I love you not
I love
only
you.
as a cousin, but I love you as a friend.
Yeah.
I'm thankful for our relationship.
Yep.
I'm going to let you close this thing out
Okay.
however way you want.
Okay.
What would you speak to someone else?
It's okay to feel guilty if you handle things differently than, like, if people are telling you things about how you're navigating through a new experience. Keep going to God, keep going to the Word and your personal family, and don't try to not listen to the noise, the outside noise, because it's a distraction and it's not healthy. But when you asked me to do this, I didn't think I had anything worth talking about or a story that really mattered.
You proved yourself wrong.
But
because
yeah,
this has been good.
it's caregiving is hard, but it can be rewarding, and God will reward those who give of their time for others. And I'm thankful. I wish I could have done it till the end for Dad, but I couldn't. And I'm still thankful for the days he gave me. And I hope that if anyone out there finds themselves in the same situation, that they reach out, find you, find me. And I'd love to encourage them. If nothing else, just encourage and let them know it's okay. It doesn't have to look like a certain way.
Oh, that's good, Doc.
Yeah, it can. It's
Good.
But anyways, thank
All
you
right,
for
girl. We got things
sending
to
me
do
here.
today.
Yeah,
You got
we got to
to
work out.
You got to work out my barn.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna go out to the ranch and show you my
Sounds
cows,
good.
and we got some things to do. We can't be sitting
Sounds
here
good.
talking all
I
day.
know.
Let's get out of here.
Still strong, watch me rise my